wonderful sunset after a beautiful day here in Calgary. And we are ready now to start the championship weekend of the Tim Hortons Brier. They are four curlers at the top of their game. 2 years ago in Edmonton, they won their first national men's championship. Last year in Sochi, they won Olympic gold. And here in Calgary, they've dominated the competition. It seems the bigger the game, the better Brad Jacobs in Northern Ontario get. He too is an Olympic champion. However, the Brier has eluded him so far. This week, they were the only team to beat Northern Ontario. Now, Newfoundland and Labrador are one win away from a trip to the final. Jacobs, Gushue, 1-2 game next. They were the Brier winners 2 years ago, gold medalists a year ago, and now ready to walk onto the ice here at the Saddle Dome in the 1-2 page playoff against a team that is, and a Skip that's still looking for his very first Brier win. Now you try to calm all the nerves. You're going to be playing in front of your biggest crowd of the week. The championship weekend is here. How did we get here? Well, this morning, several teams were waiting to see what Saskatchewan would do against BC. With BC down by 2 and sitting 1 against Steve Laycock. And in the 10th, Laycock with his final stone. He could end the hopes of all those teams at 5 losses, and he did. Steve Laycock from the Nutana in Saskatoon runs it back to run BC out of stones and clinch the 3rd spot. And so we had no tiebreakers. Ontario, Mark Keane from Fenelon Falls has a great week. Prince Edward Island looked good. Adam Casey as well, disappointing for Manitoba. And Alberta, Kevin Cooey did what he had to do. He had to win, he did, but he didn't get that help he needed to get himself in with that Saskatchewan win. So 4 teams free and clear onto the playoffs. Everyone else, Alberta on through the winless territories, eliminated from this year's competition. And so here is the playoff bracket and the 4 teams tonight, the 1-2 page playoff. Northern Ontario, Newfoundland, and Labrador through to the championship final. That's the winner. And then the loser gets that second chance against a 3-4 page playoff. Saskatchewan Team Canada. That's tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Yes, you know this is the exciting time of the week as we say hello, Canada, and welcome back. Championship weekend for the Tim Hortons Brier. Cheryl and Russ alongside. I certainly didn't think, the way it was shaping up last night and again this morning, that we just have 4 teams and no tiebreakers.
Oh, I thought we could have been here for a lot of hours watching a lot of curling, but you know what? Saskatchewan had control, and they took away a lot of Brier dreams for a lot of teams.
And making their way onto the ice from the Ballyhaley in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, to the music of the Navigators, Islanders.
Change our way of living and destroy the fishery. I'm a Newfoundlander born and bred, and I'll be one till I die. I'm proud to be an Islander, here's the reasons why. I'm free as the wind and the waves wash the sands. There's no place I would rather be than here in Newfoundland. I'm a Newfoundlander born and bred, and I'll be one till I die.
I know they're nervous, but you should embrace this, I would think, this moment for them.
You just love it. You want to be out there. You love the crowd. You feed off the energy. It's the most exciting thing to be a single sheet in this kind of environment.
And this return of Mark Nichols to his team, and what does that mean for Brad Gushue?
I think it's Brad's wingman. He's the guy that brings the best out in Brad, and he's also doing that for the front end of Walker and Gallant.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Team Northern Ontario.
From the Sioux Curlers Association, the gold medalists finished first to the Afro-Jack mashup of Do or Die.
When the angels scream, I don't want to live a life that I believe. Time to do or die, I will.
So many big games in, when you think 13, 14 gold medal. This isn't new to them, but I would think still there's some butterflies.
Well, there certainly, especially with this opening here, there's got to be butterflies. The excitement to become the Canadian champion, to win the crown for your province. That's what it's all about. These guys, they think they're the defending champions here, Vic. If they weren't here last year, they're winning a gold medal for us off in Sochi.
And the skip, Brad Jacobs.
It's the 1-2 page playoff. Northern Ontario, Newfoundland, Labrador Championship weekend starts now. Northern Ontario are your Canadian men's curling champions.
So many great names have been on that trophy, and we're going to be doing everything we possibly can in order to get our names on that trophy again.
It would be, you know, the last thing on my list. I made a list when I was a teenager of the goals that I wanted to achieve in curling, and I believe there was 10 of them. I've achieved 9 of them, and the only one missing right now is the Brier. So that would mean the world to me to win this. You know, hopefully this is our week. I think we have a good chance if we play the way we can.
The 2015 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Tim Hortons, official coffee of Curling Canada. The 2015 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Ford of Canada, proud partner with Curling Canada for more than 20 years. By M&M Meat Shops, frozen food at its best. And by Cashmere Bathroom Tissue. Nothing feels like cashmere.
So it is Northern Ontario, Newfoundland, Labrador. Time to meet the teams, brought to you by Home Hardware, homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Hi, I'm Brad Gujou, skip of Team Newfoundland Labrador. At lead is Jeff Walker, second, Brett Gallant, third, Mark Nichols, and we curl out of the Valley Haley Golf and Curling Club in St. John's, Newfoundland Labrador.
Hi, I'm Brad Jacobs, skip of Team Northern Ontario. Our lead is Ryan Harnden, our second is EJ Harnden, our third is Ryan Fry, and we curl out of Sioux Curlers Association in Sault Ste. Marie.
Better record. 10-1, Northern Ontario, 9-2, Newfoundland, Labrador, and so they get the last rock. They get their choice of stones. They've elected to take a set of yellow, meaning that Newfoundland, Labrador are playing the red, and to get us underway is Jeff Walker. And so that last rock belongs to Northern Ontario, and how important is that, Russ?
Well, you look at the stats, that's all you have to think about. 10-1 for Northern Ontario this week. The one time they didn't win the draw to the button, that's the game they lost, happened to be this gentleman here, Brad Gujou. So the 10 times they drew to the button, they won 10 out of 11, won them all.
Sweet. Sweet's good? Yeah. I think just clean. Rub.
I don't know about you, Cheryl, but this is my favorite sheet. I like to see. And that's where all the games are from here on in. Lots of curl, nothing drastic anywhere. You can get to anything, Barry, any turn.
Yeah, this was one of the most consistent sheets, and we've seen all week that the draw weight has been, it's held up. They haven't been losing the pebble down the slide path. The ice surface has been fantastic for the players.
So center guard goes up. Northern Ontario goes around, and they're sitting buried top edge of the 8.
Mine's okay. Looks good, guys.
And it is game on right away.
Certainly is. Gucci throwing that first one out front. That's sending a message. I'm not afraid of you, and let's dance and see what happens here. And Brad has played aggressive this week, a little more so than I remember. He's given up more points, a lot more points than Northern On, but he's scoring points too, and we always talk about it. If you're going to beat a great team like Northern Ontario, you have to force them to play hard shots.
Well, and we saw that a little bit in their first game, in their matchup, where, you know, Northern Ontario had walked into that game only allowing 1 steal the entire week, and Gushu was able to steal 2 points on Northern Ontario, so they seem to have their number a little bit in that area.
Mine's fine. We're still losing the whoa.
Just back tee.
No. I'm not going to beat out that one. No.
That's okay. That's a good shot.
Got a little more than I expected.
Shot right.
Okay, good. Oh boy, that's good.
All right, let's talk a little bit about game plans, and we'll start with Brad Jacobs and Northern Ontario. They are 10-1. Are they as good as that?
Oh, no question about it, Vic. And you just have to look at Brad himself, number one skip. Ryan Fry, as usual, number one third. And there's a lot of good thirds here. But it's all about the angles for these guys. It's all these setup angles like we see here already. If they can get the rocks at the front of the rings on the right angles, then you'll see Fry and Jacobs work their magic with those runbacks.
Whoa. Just like to move it a couple inches. Whoa, needs a curl. Okay, to move it, we might have to go. Go then. Go little. Line's good. Line's good, guys. Hard. Line's real good. Hard. Come on, all you got. Hard. Go, 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 go. Good boy. Good shot.
A 9-2 record for Newfoundland Labrador Brad Gushue, but some people may just put a question mark behind that. Is that reasonable?
Well, they easily could have been 6-5, but they managed to pull out some key victories. One versus Saskatchewan, then an extra end win versus Team Canada, and then of course that shot of the week that I think everybody's seen against Team Alberta. But I think their only chance to win this game is up front, because Fry and Jacobs have been playing so amazing. So if they're behind going into the beginning of those third stones, they're in trouble. So I think put the pressure on with Walker and Gallant.
Rub, clean. Rub. How much, guys? Lots of line. Clean. Top four. Yep. Rub. Rub. Lots of line. Just away. Yep. Well, yep. Whoa.
Yeah, we can wait.
Off now.
Trying to come around that little string of stones to the top edge. The game plan brought to you by World Financial Group, helping Canadians have better financial futures.
Brilliant guess here, but Team Northern Ontario, the judgment, the communication, all these teams is really good, but look how close this gets to the guard, and they keep it high that way.
Well, it's one thing to be fit and be able to carry the rocks, but you have to judge them too. Pound it all the way down the sheet, and it's not the right weight. These guys are spectacular at both.
Line's real good. Now we gotta go. Where is it? Go. You got room. Gotta go.
Line's good.
Line's good, guys. Still gotta go.
Walker. Nichols on the brush.
Walk it on. Line's perfect. Really good now. Walk it on. Yep. Hard. We're there.
We mentioned that Northern Ontario had the first choice of stones. They've gone with a set of yellow. Red for Newfoundland Labrador. As we say good evening, Kathy Gauthier. Any particular reason why they've gone the way they have?
Well, what's more interesting to me, Vic, is why they chose the stones that they did. For Brad Gushue, he's got 3 sets of his own stones. He wants to know he can move them around if he's not comfortable with them. He also wants to know that the guys that are throwing at him, he knows that they are predictable. And 2 of them, for Mark Nichols, were games that he made a lot of draws. A little more scientific for Northern Ontario. They go back to the Canadian curling trials and take some stones from there. They looked at performance this week, took stones from there, and they looked at what Jennifer Jones threw in the Canadian Scotties and took stones from there. And Russ, you and I talked on the way over about those rocks on Alpha that curl a little bit more. Not one from there.
It's
kind of weight you want here.
That's curious, hey, Russ, that they would.
I don't want to spin that off too much. Probably here is good.
I don't want to sell it short. It sounds like I am, but I don't mean to. That are we getting to that point where you have to know and chart the stones that scientific?
No question about it. And that's why Brad's got 6 of his own rock, because he trusts himself, and he's a great rock matcher. Obviously curled with him, and that's what it's all about. You cannot in a big game like this have a rock and go in the 5th and go, whoops, that one's straight.
Hard.
Well done, Mark Nichols.
This is what Gushue does. Their team hasn't curled as well on paper, but this is what they do. They line things up. They get the angles. They're not afraid to throw those freezes.
We've seen a little bit. Mark Nichols, his hits hasn't been as strong as they typically are, but I think if Mark can bring his up game for his hits, then they're deadly, because the angles that Gushue knows how to set up, as long as he's got Mark there to run those back.
Mark was a lot lower this week, and he's 79% on his hits. You compare that to his counterpart here, Ryan Fry, 93. That's a 14% difference. That's unbelievable. But I've seen it. Nichols, when the lights go on, when he has to win, he can be on fire.
Never.
Just disturbs that little string. Shot rock, Newfoundland, Labrador, touching the top of the fourth without the hammer here in this first.
We can guard that.
You might play the intern.
Yeah.
I guess it probably lines up, though, does it?
This is lined up, but if he gets in there, it's not good for us. We can just do this for now.
I was going to say, is hitting that stupid?
No, it's not stupid at all. At least if he gets in here, we have that open up there to run it in. And
if you guard this, you could always still maybe hit this back too.
Yeah, you could, but it's not going to have a whole lot of speed.
Yeah.
I like this for now, Mark.
Okay. You want to stay right there?
What?
Stay right there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I like this. I like this call.
Yeah.
Real good setup here, because that red that's locked on the yellow in the center lines, they're going to have trouble moving that thing out of there.
Keep it up a bit.
Same weight, Brad?
No, just board up.
No, I think.
Okay.
Like, I'm thinking you got to make that double right there and roll out.
Oh, easy, guys, easy.
Good weight.
Whoa.
No.
Okay, it's good weight, Mark. Mark Nichols as we play third stones here in this first.
Good weight. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Whoa. 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 This is good. Okay.
Curious why you wouldn't have tried to roll it right in if you had that opportunity, but they were playing the beak all the way, weren't they?
Yeah, they're just trying to keep as many rocks in play as they can. If you roll kind of half underneath, it gives Fry a hit and roll chance.
Not bad.
Huh?
Or that double.
Yeah, you make that double, and then I'm looking at 4.
Play this.
It's fine. We can throw a bomb, but
Dangerous to leave these
Control.
reds up front like that.
Yeah.
Whoa, guys, whoa.
Ryan
whoa,
Fry.
Off. Please, whoa, off. Never.
Boy, and unable to hold it. It just seemed to float all the way and actually float out of it.
Yeah, I agree with you, and that's surprising. He didn't overthrow it either.
A little wide, but I don't know why we were sweeping it. A little wide, but I don't know why we were sweeping it.
I don't do much there.
Yeah, it didn't curl at all, though.
No, you think it'd be some pebble out there.
We just hit this hair off and
Normal?
solid normal, yeah.
Yeah. Try to roll. Just stay right there.
Yeah, or keep the one that's going in there. It's probably better.
Okay.
So maybe like thick half.
Brad has to hit it now, because if he doesn't,
Like this?
Jacobs can come around and tap that shot red
love this
Newfoundland
situation.
rock out, sit 2, and that's pretty
hate it,
late in
but-
the end to sit 2.
Brad?
Yep. I just think if he makes a real good one, what do you would throw for weight? I'm thinking just solid normal. Okay.
I like this.
Sitting 4 with a guard is never a bad thing.
No, and the way
Even a
these
thick
may
half is
spring
good
out, you
too.
may even block off any draws into the forefoot. It really can end up good positioning for Brad.
And Brad Jacobs said as much prior to Ryan Fry's throw. He figured he'll be facing 4.
Hard!
Walker, Gallant.
Whoa!
Big night for them. And well done to hold the line. Get rid of the yellow and sit 4.
Squirted a little too far.
Yeah, everything went too far, just as you said, a little too much weight, and that kind of opens up the entire scoring area.
Yeah, he wanted these rocks not on the right and left to spring so far. He would have blocked off a lot more of that forefoot.
Not quite.
Got to freeze, right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So full back 4.
Okay. Let's go, T.
Yep.
But if you're Newfoundland Labrador, Russ, you're looking at those reds and you're saying they're all mine, and I can bump them up.
He probably would.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, at least
All
we got
in
it
front
up
of the
where we
tee
got
line.
Oh, yeah, we got something around
Well,
that.
I think the concern about not throwing enough weight on Brad Gushu's shot is that if you don't spring them enough and leave a stagger somewhere, then you've got Jacobs coming around it and you can't run something in. So these are all set up pretty good if Brad Jacobs gets something in behind there in the forefoot.
I thought Brad might hit that shot rock, roll behind the corner, and He's going to be erased no matter what he does, but that would open the scoring area up a little more.
So immediate pressure for Brad Jacobs out of Sioux Curlers Association in Sault Ste. Marie, facing 4. This is his first.
Got room. Sweep her back 4. Got lots of line right now. No needs to move. Line's good. Line's good. Line's good. Line's good. Back 4.
They got him now.
Gotta be back 4.
The Brush brothers.
Go EJ. Come on, man.
Ryan EJ.
All you got. All you got.
Do they have enough to get it there? Do they have enough? No.
What? That's not. It's gonna be bad. Line's good. Back 4.
Great rushing, just not soon enough.
Gotta be back 4. Go each.
And that's been consistent, Cheryl. We've seen that all week. You have to believe, you have to trust that it's going to go, but we know, for example, Manitoba, in that game where they gave up the steal of 1, and
I don't know if
they picked it up late and they couldn't carry it.
There, you know, the ice is just like that. It's not ice. You've got to be on it early, let it come off at the end, and trying to jump on it at the last second, you just can't carry it.
I'm Brad Gushue here. I'm throwing like a hack weight at this thing. If you could hit it just an inch off center and leave it right where that yellow one is, there's not much of a port to draw, and I don't think Team Northern Ontario wants to hit against 5 or 6.
That'll effectively do what it did in his first one.
Final Stone now trying to angle this one center line. Just angle it back. Get shot, Rock. Get it. Just like that. Move it. And away it goes. And now 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 facing Brad Jacobs.
That was good solid board, eh?
Wow.
Just over curled on him a little bit.
You know what? Go back to what you said. First draw from Brad Gushue. Right out in front. He says, I'm not afraid. I'm coming at you. And look what's now facing Brad Jacobs.
Exactly. And lucky for Jacobs and Northern Ontario, they've thrown this once. This isn't easy. It's going to be a hair quicker there now because they
Can ask for much more than that. Hopefully we do it with a hammer now.
Yeah.
Facing 5. Here in the first. Little bite of the forefoot.
Just for weight.
Line's good.
Line's good. Just for weight. Sweep for T.
Line's good.
Sweep for T. Easy.
Line's good, boys.
Line's perfect. T
Came
line.
up just a little light with his first. Uh-oh. Now, here's Nichols, and it'll stop back 4.
Hey, let's go, guys.
Northern Ontario
Let's pick it up.
makes the draw against 5. 44 curlers started the week with a chance to drive away in an all-new 2015 Ford F-150, the annual Ford Hot Shots competition. That number, well, it was trimmed down to just 2. And in the final, Colin Hodgson goes rock to rock against Saskatchewan's Stellan Myers. And the lead from Manitoba, making his first Brier appearance, comes up big when he needed to. In the final round, already in front, Hodgson would ice it, scoring a maximum 5 on the double takeout. Colin Hodgson wins the Ford Hot Shots and a 2-year lease on Canada's best-selling pickup, the Ford F-150. After the 4 sheets in play the entire week, here at the Saddle Dome in Calgary, just 1 now, sheet C. Russ says from here on out, this will be the sheet through the 3-4 semifinal bronze medal, gold medal game on Sunday. As we welcome you back to the start of championship weekend, the Tim Hortons Brier, the 86th edition of the Canadian Men's Curling Championship. What a way to start. Maybe not if you're Northern Ontario, you have to draw against 5, but well done, Brad Jacobs. And now Brad Gushue from the Ballyhaley Country Club in St. John's will have last rock. He has the hammer here playing the Red Stones, and as he said to Mark Nichols, nice start. Now let's do the same with the hammer.
And they look poised to do that. The draw weight was impeccable in that first end. Freezes like right to the inch. Angles were good. Totally out-curled Northern Ont. And as we talked at the top of the show, how important's hammer? Jacob just proved it.
And I think Brad Gushue got the best out of his front end. You know, that's where the pressure is going to have to be put on. You need to be a little bit one rock ahead before Ryan Fry ends up coming to throw.
Sweep for tight. Boys. Line looks good. Line's good. Line's good.
The ice makers will like that it's down to one sheet now. They can focus on one sheet and one sheet only, and they've done a great job on all 4 sheets this week, but it's always nice to get down to that one and groom it the best you can.
Yeah, good toss.
Back 8, back 12.
Speed will be good in
Just
here.
2 feet light for Ryan there. Leaves this wide open. If you're ever going to leave it open, you want to leave it open on the other side, because now Team Gushue can roll towards their corner guard.
Back 12. Yep. Back line. Yep. A little heavy. Whoa. Whoa. Back 12. Yep. Yep. Hard. 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 Hard.
Here comes that off center guard, big scrub. Oh, and then just a little rub, and it'll spin and roll off, and that stone top 4 is right under cover.
Had to be fresh pebble there because they yelled heavy out of his hand.
It's good to keep one in the rings.
They thought they had that by. They could have got off it a little bit earlier and just tried to roll him behind the corner guard a little higher than this one.
Front in.
Back 12.
Back 12.
Rock, eh?
Hit it off.
At least it's buried.
Back line. Yep. 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 Yep.
E.J. Harnden.
Oh, heavy. Yep. 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 Back line. Yep. 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 Yep.
Now the other way, and the other guard flirting with this one. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, and they'll tap it back, and the shooter spins out into the open. So the week that was, 10-1, it's their amazing focus that this team from Northern Ontario has. Their only loss, Newfoundland and Labrador, coming yesterday. The fact that you win a Brier, you're able to maintain that focus, go on to win the trials, represent the country, win a gold, and then come right back and really not break it. And here they are in the 1-2 page playoff.
We talked about it a bit with Jennifer Jones' team too. You know, you always kind of look a little bit for when there's going to be some letdown, and you just have not seen it with Brad Jacobs' team at all this year.
Brett Gallant plays the angle, moves it back edge of the 4 center line. Brad Gushue, well, he had the 2, and they came back to back against BC and Manitoba. Then he wins out to finish with that record of 9-2. But as Cheryl pointed out earlier, there were a couple of games that, you know, the curling gods, as we often say, smiling. Certainly that made that shot that everybody's still talking about Alberta.
It's good.
And you know, that give that game to Alberta. They're not watching, they're playing.
That's how close this entire week was, Vic, wasn't it? You know, Manitoba had a bunch of close games. Just about all of them went the wrong way. Alberta had a really tough close games. They just couldn't win any of them. It's a great field. Nice shot there to sit the deuce.
Try to roll on top, don't you? Still want to roll there.
Kind of wait.
Board?
Yep.
That was heavy hack?
That was pretty close to board. Little more than that.
We've seen a lot of finish to the wings.
Yep. Really good weight.
And then the same good finish into the center line as well.
Whoa. Still a little heavy. Clean. Whoa. Clean it. Whoa. Just clean. You're fine. You're fine. Good shot.
Right on the nose from Brett Gallant, who spent some extra time after the Continental Cup, stayed in Calgary, worked out to the training center, trying just to get his game up to par.
Yeah, I give him a lot of credit too. You know, he skipped his whole junior career. He actually won more. He broke Brad's record for most wins as a junior skip at the time, and volunteered to come down and play at second stone for this great team, and that's what you have to do if you're going to put 4 wonderful athletes together to win at this level.
Well, and he would have been at the Glencoe Club. That's where the National Training Center is, and we've trained there off and on for years. And they, for a curling club, can make ice that pretty much replicates what you'd get out here at a Briar. Great place to train before you come here.
Whoa! A little less than mine.
Whoa!
A little less than me.
No, Jeff. Got to curl just to get to the nose.
Board weight.
Nice. Just a little outside. Okay, Mark.
And there's no doubt, I mean, this is a key matchup when you take Ryan Fry from Northern Ontario, Mark Nichols from Newfoundland Labrador, returning to Newfoundland Labrador after several years in Manitoba, but right now his game not quite sharp enough.
No, it certainly isn't, and Ryan Fry's is. That's an unbelievable number, 92 for the week. This guy's virtually unstoppable, but again, I have to warn Northern Ontario fans, Mark Nichols in the playoffs is a different guy.
And there's that roll over by Fry, and he'll sit right on top.
Ryan just, you know, he plays that run back so great, and then he brings down his weight to a board easy weight, makes these great hit and rolls. And that's been the huge improvement you've seen in his game over the years.
Just tap this back, stay on the nose. Newfoundland will be shot rock, and it's a bit of a problem for Northern Ont.
Yep, same weight.
Hard! Yep! Really gotta go, guys! Hard, guys! Hard, all you got! Hard!
The land, and Walker get it by the guard.
Whoa!
And they'll spring it, get rid of one, roll the shooter over to the edge of the 8. They call him Bam Bam. And it's nice to see Mark Nichols back with Brad Gushue. He means a lot to Brad, doesn't he, Kathy?
Giving up the steal.
Nobody knows his delivery better than Brad, and they've been concerned about Mark's numbers this week. Brad said, you know, he hasn't made any run backs at all. So in the practice earlier today, they've tried to shorten up his backswing. What he says is he's coming out so hard to throw so much weight that he's just not on target. We saw that in his first shot. So, Russ, you know his delivery better than anyone. Look for a shorter backswing, less weight like he just threw, to try to get closer to the broom and make more shots.
We're just thinking, like, if you nose, and then he comes off, like...
They're thinking double.
No, it's not there.
No?
Well, it is there.
It is there.
No, let's just close it.
Yeah.
They sit right here. That double isn't there because of the guard.
Oh,
Weight's good.
oh.
Clean. Whoa!
Brad Jacobs, first skip stone, Newfoundland Labrador with Lasrock.
Close. Whoa!
No.
No!
That's the problem with that shot. You had to sit 2. Back to Mark Nichols' delivery there, Vic. You know, I had the pleasure of curling with these great 2 players at the Olympics. Obviously, Mark really struggled. He'll tell you by his own admission at the.
We go there. I think he's rolling.
I'll listen to these guys first here.
So we could do this again. You might leave a double back.
Yeah, I just don't want to roll there.
I know. Let's do this.
Yeah. Well, let's give this a try, Mark. If it's not going, let's sweep for right on the nose. Okay.
Okay.
Right on the nose probably makes it almost impossible for a red double.
I thought you were a little snug. Yes.
We really saw Jacob's stone curl here. It really went once it got to that center line.
I was saying in Torino, Mark did the same thing. He struggled in the round robin. The ice was awful. That was part of the problem. And any outward motion was just accentuated. But we went to a curling club before the semifinal, slowed him down. We had him lower the kick and then extend a little more. And he curled something like 94 and 98% in the 2 games to win as a gold medal. He was unconscious.
It's pretty amazing to fix that midweek or at the end of a week when you've struggled.
Yep. Just board. Whoa!
Brad Gushue, his first.
Rotation, right, too.
Clean. Bit of a spinner, hey?
Yep. Yep.
Whoa. Sure.
And that's where they leave him. That's what they thought. Right on the nose.
I want to clean the path. Picked in my hand when I was coming out.
It seemed like it had a lot of rotation.
Yeah. Well, I tried to spin it out.
Good shot.
No, he thought he had something underneath it, so he tried to give it a little extra spin to get whatever was under out from
I spun it, gave it an extra
the rock.
rotation. So.
Yeah. That's why I said hard early.
Yeah.
It takes some talent to do that, not to panic and still try to fix it with your release.
Soft control.
Okay.
This spot will be getting straighter. There's quite a few here. Just tries to add it at the end. That's a sick feeling.
Takes some talent, though, to be able to do that, like you said. Stay on line.
No. Almost control. Wait,
Whoa.
Wait. Right
Other way.
Yeah,
Other way.
it's right on the nose.
Yep. Roll it.
Boy, they really didn't know what to do, whether they in fact could get the flip underneath or they could roll it away. It just sort of sat there.
Good throw.
That happens so often in these arena conditions. We had Newfoundland came down and ticked the guard there because there was so much pebble, and everybody remembers that shot. You visualize it, but it gets straighter and straighter with all that brushing.
Maybe even a hair less wouldn't kill us, eh? Got plenty of ice there, so.
Yeah, it looks like a lot.
It's a chance for two. Brad Gushue, his last.
Yep. Yeah!
A little light out of his hand, a hair less. Now Walker, Gallant. You hear Nichols. It's all about holding it here, avoiding the jam here. And two here, Newfoundland, Labrador.
I got friends in the places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away.
They were doing a little lip syncing here, and Garth Brooks, and obviously a fan, Brad Gushue.
He's a much better curler, though, than the way he sings.
Line's good,
Well, his
guys.
friends
Line's should be
from the
fine.
Valley Haley
Needs to
Country
curl.
Club
Really
are
hard.
up 2-1. So
Go
we
then,
welcome you
hard.
back.
Hard, because it has to curl, too.
On the start of championship weekend, Northern Ontario, Brad Jacobs
Never off.
from Sault Ste. Marie will have the last rock. They have the Hammer playing the Yellowstones here in 3.
Just a couple of half shots in those two ends by Northern Ontario, and they've been in big trouble. Newfoundland all over them earlier.
Stay with it. Stay with it. Line's
You
getting
don't
a
need to
little
go
tight,
for
guys.
line. Line's a little tight, but yep, looks light, guys. Hard. Come on. Oh, we're way over curling now. Okay.
Hey, Jeff.
Just gotta keep the brooms on.
Yeah.
Go right.
They look really relaxed, Cheryl, Newfoundland.
They do, and they seem to, you know, I was looking at the numbers. Northern Ontario has only allowed 5 deuces all week, so Brad just seems to be able to get those. He gets those steals on Brad Jacobs, and he's also getting the deuces when he has hammer.
Well, that was the difference in their round robin game, and it was that last rock that Newfoundland and Labrador had, and then they were ahead 3-0 on a couple of steals, a game in which, you know, Brad Jacobs said I was just off a little bit, and they and it doesn't take much, of course, at the elite level.
Hack. Good hack.
But you're right, Cheryl. The whole field scored 3 deuces in the entire week. Brad Gushue scored 3 deuces on him in a game and a quarter.
Yeah, he just seems to kind of have his number. When Brad Gushue talked about coming in, he said last year, you know, they were a team that they felt they had to play the best that they could in order to get wins, but they feel this week that they're not even playing at the top of their game and they're still pulling wins out. Sometimes that's just making the right shot at the right time.
Oh, wow. Brett Gallant gets that roll, tucks it in underneath to sit 2 without. Gallant, the former Canadian junior champion when he lived in PEI, the winningest junior skip ever, 48 wins.
Want to keep that yellow one around.
Runs it by, and then that yellow will spin over, and yeah, it's around, but not around the rings.
Yeah, a little pass half line.
Half or a little pass, Jeff.
Newfoundland could peel that guard now that they're up one. Going to stay on the offense.
Quick, hey?
Good speed. Yeah, it is. It's good speed. It's tight, isn't it?
Pretty tight.
You're okay.
How's line, Brett?
Clean. Line's fine.
Clean it. We're real tight. Like to wait a bit.
Off.
Okay, line.
Right off. Your
Line's good.
Might
really
be
tight.
Off. Seeing a couple of his former junior teammates in Adam Casey and Anson Carmody representing Prince Edward Island this week. They had a good run. PEI finishing at 5 and 6.
Got to hit Grant.
Yeah! Yeah! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Sorry,
Well, that's
good.
what they do the very best, I think, of any team at the moment. As we said earlier, it's just a...
How'd it go on that, eh?
it's a confidence killer.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Oh, no question about it.
Can I get them all? If we
Yeah, he's
sweep
a
it bit?
little upset they didn't brush and get that third one out, but if they brush it, they lose the corner guard. Brad just peels the other corner guard. It's going to be a blank hand. So now they've got 2 yellow rocks to work with here, Northern Ont.
Line's tight.
Gotta go.
Hard for line. Really hard for line, guys. Hard, guys. Tight. Really got to go hard.
You got it.
Top
You got it.
Hard.
Hard, Jeff.
Come on, guys. Hard.
Hard,
Brett Gallant,
Gotta
Jeff
go.
Walker.
Hard, Jeff.
Hard.
That corner is going to come up pretty quickly. There it is. There it is.
Not even with this.
Oh, boys. And they'll drag it behind.
Well, they're getting some great finish.
Did well.
You said short. I was like,
It's amazing.
Yep, yep. Really got to go.
Really tight.
Really got to go.
Brian Fry.
Whoa. Yep, yep.
Oh, boys, they backed off.
Yep.
And they'll chip it in.
This Fry-Nichols
Well,
matchup's going to be interesting.
well, hack.
Yep, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Nice weight. Yes. All right. Whoa. Lead. Whoa. Good shot, Mark.
Pretty late, Mark.
Well, they just keep coming at him, aren't they?
No question.
And especially the Brad Gushu's front end, they're just setting everything up. And
But that was a key, you said, right? I mean, that was, you need them to set the table so that Nichols and Gushu have some chances.
now, well, if you're a little behind by the time Ryan Fry goes to throw, you're going to be very behind by the time he's done. So you need to be a little bit up on them.
Fry 1, and he'll jam the second. Shot rock, though, appears to be that Yellowstone, Northern Ontario, just nibbling at the top edge of the 8.
Good solid board, Mark. At least.
Solid board?
Yeah.
Just roll it right here.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
Maybe we should have called normal. What? Should have probably called normal. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, I should have thrown it every two.
Just under through that first
Side
one.
seems-
Took off on him.
This side seems to be moving pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
So
think I need good
Popping
board.
a foot, are you, sort of thing?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. I like,
that ice for good
I do.
board?
Yep.
Do I need to keep it up a bit in this spot?
I think you throw a good board because this side seems a little fresher.
Okay.
Good board.
It's good weight.
Clean. Whoa!
Easy.
Whoa!
Solid board.
Clean.
Whoa. Solid, little solid.
Clean.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Yep, yes!
Hard!
Yep. Go, 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 go.
What a shot. That really moved last.
Might
2
have grabbed
feet.
also.
Next, I think.
Now, we may mention that this is 12 Briars, Brad Gushue. And we've had lots of people here. But it's the fact that he has won. The fact that he is in contention most years. And now, with that 90th win, his all-time wins list, he gets by Glenn Howard.
That's good.
And now his 4th all-time.
No. I was afraid he was going to play the role.
Just
that's
getting
all.
started, too. He's so young.
Well, and even though, you know, it's an expense for them, and you know this better, Russ, they do a lot of traveling. They play in the tour.
Right.
They work so hard to try to get better.
Well, for
Throw
Gushue,
the
he's made the
enter.
playoffs now in 8 of the 12 appearances.
That'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Going to give this double a try here.
It's not much ice, in the spot.
This has to be whipping.
I think so.
Look at that stare. That never changes. Not a lick from the front end, and it'll just bang and sit there center line.
Wasn't
Man,
happy with that out of his hand. Just with that kind of weight, you're off just an inch, and you're not going to get any finish.
Right on the nose.
Brad Gushue's first one, just as he was trying to almost nose a roll of foot and just grabbed something coming into the rings and rolled over to maybe even a better
Probably
spot.
just a little less than that, Mark. Yeah.
Board?
Yeah. A little less than what I
Perfect
just threw, I
setup
think.
here. You
Sure.
hit this dead on. You almost have to draw if you're Northern Ontario.
Because if you bang it on the beak, you won't be shot.
You won't be shot, and you hit the outside one, you're going to have to roll.
And you'll only have the out turn.
Yeah, which they haven't played.
Hairless.
Yep.
Clean.
Less. Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Hard.
Yeah, right to it.
Whoa.
Yep.
Mark.
Clean.
Yep.
Whoa.
Good.
And right to it. There you go.
I would have liked to roll it a hair.
Whoa.
Trying, thinking of the blank.
He's thinking of it.
Let's go, Brad.
About a third.
You don't like this run?
No, this is pretty dangerous now. The skill
like
level
this.
that Brad has, especially on the out turn
Double
side,
blank.
you know, there's a chance he'll make it, but I'd have to think he missed this at least 50% of the time.
Why
I
is
just
it
think he has
so
a better
thin?
chance of making
Well,
it.
he might make the double, but he might stick
Oh, you think so?
for one. And,
Okay.
the only reason he's doing it is to blank the end, so the odds of blanking this are fairly slim.
Okay.
You miss it, you're down 2 points. It's a big shot.
Final stone and facing 2.
Yep. Whoa.
Called off. All about the line. Get it. Spin it up and out, and he made it.
Pistol.
That focus. Just never loses it. Brad Jacobs. Bang, bang. And out. I could say something about he's down there, you're up here.
That's you. Well, hey, no kidding. No kidding. The double wasn't hard. It's rolling out is the hard part, because if you try to hit the top one too thick, to hit the second one thinner, you might miss it and give up a steal. No mistake whatsoever. Just a laser.
To get the blank. And brings a little smile to the face of Brad Gushue. Tee shot brought to you by Cashmere Bathroom Tissue. Nothing feels like cashmere. It remains 2-1 Newfoundland and Labrador leading.
Right here.
And because of that leg. Northern Ontario will have the last rock. They have the hammer here in 4 playing the Yellowstone.
Line's nice.
Full credit for Brad to try that, Brad Jacobs, because it's that sends a message too, because they were really outcurled in the first end. They gave up a deuce in the second end. They looked like they were going to be forced in the third, and this changes the momentum a little bit. They're only 1 down. They've just finished with a great shot. A 2 here puts them ahead.
I think knowing that shot is there, just a lot to do with the rocks and the action you get off those rocks. You saw it spring up the minute it made contact with the second stone and up and out of the rings.
Newfoundland Labrador, Jeff Walker goes with his first, just off center line, top 4. Corner goes up from Northern Ontario, covering the 8-foot, and now this is Walker's second.
Oh, you got go, 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 go.
Hack. Go, Pete.
Worn this spot down quite a bit. You saw Jacobs tried to roll inside here and it didn't curl.
Real big. Whoa, 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 clean. Yep, 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 yep. Whoa, yes, yep. Whoa, yep, yep, hard. Hard, come on, guys. Hard, straight up hard. Take it,
By the guard.
Roll that hard. Keep
Now
going.
trying to
Keep
roll it
going, keep going.
underneath, and it'll stop at the edge of the 4.
You want to throw soft weight on those, and if you roll and you aren't buried, it's behind the tee line. Team Gushue has to hit it, and then you've got something to freeze to.
He's good. Hard. Whoa. Easy.
Clean. Whoa.
Whoa, guys. Whoa.
Clean. Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
Stay on the 12-foot. Okay, good. Okay.
And you'll hang it on the back edge of the 8.
On the corner.
That's heavy.
Either are.
Didn't curl very much.
Rolled it a hair too far. Now the yellow is accessible. You can get around that. You will be shot. Barely.
Let's go, EJ. Speed should be good here.
Speed's good.
Brad Gushue was hoping that stayed in the 8-foot just so that this wasn't there. They can bury around this and be shot rock.
Right.
Line's good. Room. Line's
Room
good.
just for weight.
Line's
Line's
good.
good.
Yeah, we can wait.
Clean.
Just for
How's
weight.
that? Yep. Line's
Just
good.
for
Right
weight.
here.
Hey, wait's great.
Right here, guys. Beat that one out. Full 8. Right here. Yep. 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 Yep.
Shot each.
Good rush, guys.
World Junior Championships continue in Tallinn, Estonia. Continues to be very good for the Canadians. Kelsey Rock, Saville Community Sports Center in Edmonton, wins her last round robin. She finishes first. And Team Canada, the men, Braden Calvert from the Deer Lodge in Winnipeg. He is on to the final. He won the 1-2 game.
2 great junior teams.
Yeah. Braden actually stole the last end to win that game.
We're definitely shot.
Brilliant brushing to get shot rock and buried.
That back one? Going around the center is not real good, or throw a corner.
And really good finish to the wings. We saw it even with the intern going away.
Throw one guard.
I like guards.
You like the guard, boys?
Sure.
Okay. Let's make it.
This delays the opportunity for the Gushue team to eliminate 2 yellows at a time. When you go into the rings here, there's that many more tries to get that double. So we're going to throw at least 1 guard here.
Halfway.
Needs to curl.
Halfway high.
Needs to curl.
Yep.
Clean. Yep. 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 Hard, guys.
Hard.
Yep. 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 Stay
Hard.
on it. Stay on it. Yep. Right up. Right up. Right up. Right
That's
up.
a big
Right up.
carry if they hope to cover it.
Great throw.
Less than half. Less than half. It'll go. Okay. I think so too.
I agree, Mark.
What do you think it might be?
Saw Ryan Fry. This was a spot going the other way with the out turn. He was a little down weight, and it really took off, and they racked on the guard.
One thing Brad Gushue can do is read ice, and he's got that in the memory bank. And if Mark doesn't overthrow this, you're right. This should hook right in there.
Not heavy. Yep. Yep. Hard. Whoa. Hard. Whoa.
Walker.
Whoa.
Gallant.
Just hard. Whoa. Right off. Yep. 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 Yep.
And there it goes.
No roll. No roll. Good shot.
Nice.
And there it goes. Well, you just have to be so patient, Russ.
Well, the nice speed there from Mark, that was the key. And the Brushers could do just about anything they wanted. It does finish hard there.
It was a little in out, and it really tracked.
Yeah.
I was trying to.
But even their
I was
guard-
trying to get them both, and then get out of here with a blank, which is
Even
great.
their guard and their draw took kind of forever and not a lot of ice.
Yeah.
It's a tough out turn draw through that port, the way the guards are angled.
Ryan Fry.
Move it early. Rub. 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 Rub still. Whoa line. How much, guys? T. Nope.
Back 4.
Well, again, the Harnden's taken right out of this shot. Got to get off that center. Get off.
Yep. Sweep it.
Whoa.
Oh, it's really close.
Kind of jump on.
They're not communicating here. It's funny.
No, I think they wanted, Brad Jacobs said, get on it early, because I think they knew that port was really tight to come through, but they had to get off the center line first. Just ran the line.
Yep. Sweep it.
I mean, that's when you have that kind of brushing. I mean, the last thing you want to do is not use them.
Yeah, to jump it. I mean, they jumped it early, but you could wait on it and use the brushers at the end when they could really make a difference. It didn't need to be on there right out of his hand.
Chance to apply more pressure here.
Full 4. Line's good.
Mark Nichols.
Line's good. Just top 8. Full 8. Come on, get a full 4, guys. Line's good. Line's great. Come on. Gotta be deep or he's coming up this hard.
Walker and Gallant. Look at this carry. To the top 4.
Great catch, boys.
Is this one of those 90% games that Mark
I
Nichols
think
brings
so.
when
I
he's in a
think so.
Brad?
pressure game?
Look at the smile on the face of Jeff
2
Walker.
pistols there.
Hey, says to Brett. Gallant really goes, huh?
Hard.
Perfect placement.
2 years playing lead for Jeff Stoughton doesn't hurt the soft game. You know, he was Mark was noted for the high hard ones, but a couple years at lead, that really makes him a well-rounded player.
Whoa.
Following him down, is it?
Yeah, that's all he's got. Maybe bump it if they can.
Yep.
Back 8.
Whoa.
Back 8. Back 4. Back 8.
So he's got a hook for them. And there's that tap, and they won't push it back far enough. It is still Newfoundland Labrador. Shot stone. Back edge of the button. It is in that hole, though.
Can't make that without.
Yeah, you can't roll back in because of the jam.
I'd love to save this one back here.
Yes, that's why I'm thinking we throw a little extra weight.
Though. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Good board.
Okay.
I don't think this is going to go
I
hard,
agree.
Mark.
I like Fries didn't do much
Yeah.
there.
Nose is okay. Yeah.
You know, Russ, again, because of your knowledge and having played with them, this was one of the reasons that Brad Gushue was so happy to get Mark Nichols back. Their understanding. They're having played together so long, knowing each other so well. It took some of that responsibility off of Gushue, that he didn't have to play coach to everyone on the ice.
So true. In the old pair of slippers for sure. There's no question. And Mark, not only is the shot making, the brushing, he's a strong boy, but it's off the ice too. He's just so good with everybody. Really, you can't say no about this guy.
Just flat in here.
Trying to throw a little extra weight. They're not too afraid to nose it here, but Brad would love to roll partly underneath here.
Whoa! Leave you a little big.
Clean.
Whoa! Little big.
Right off.
Not bad.
Right off.
A little big, Mark.
Come on. Never.
saying it's a little big. And they'll push it through. Newfoundland Labrador is sitting the 2 without last rock here in the 4th.
He's laying 4. Yeah. All right. So, I mean, I guess we want to almost over curl it to here.
Or we hit. Do this. That's pretty good.
Actually, that's a good call. He's coming around the center.
Well, that's fine. Even if, like, we gotta limit this, right? If he comes around the center, you might have that for 3.
Yeah, I never really thought of that.
I think that's the call.
Where do we have to be if we just dead bury it shot?
It's just like, if you get it, can he come in and just tap at a rock? Like,
pretty tough to get through this.
But it might be there. If
let's throw weight at it. If we get to there. Good, so just play this?
Yeah, I like that.
And then he'll play that?
He's playing that, and then
we
we'll
run it?
Or then we'll have for 3.
Or this, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on where he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we got to be control weight here.
They talked about going here, but they decided that, you know, there's so many rocks in play, they're going to move this one first and try to roll this way a little bit. So that allows Jacobs, if he makes it really good there, but you're going to see Brad Gushue come down and his response is somewhere in there. And if it's good, it's going to be tough to get it out of there. If it's not good, there'll be a shot for 2, even if they have to play this angle raise.
Too much weight?
Control.
Okay.
Interesting. You have to get this buried first, but I don't think Brad Gushue, he might hit that outside red one and run it in. You can see enough, but we're right behind the sheet. That outside red at the 2 o'clock position is open enough to get this one.
Brad Jacobs.
Go heavy.
His first.
Yep. Yep.
Coming through this hole now.
Hard. Hard.
And the Brush brothers are engaged this time, getting it through.
Right on.
Now looking for that roll, and nothing. Right on the beak.
No.
Good sweep.
Right under.
Oh, wait. Good throw.
He wanted more.
Probably the same way that I just threw, eh?
That was saw board. What's the plan?
I don't have to roll under the guard.
Okay.
Same, he said? What's that? Same.
I kind of squared it off on you.
Yeah.
Meaning what, Cheryl?
Just straightened it up a bit, so he may have been sliding a little bit tight and then kind of squared it back to the broom, and it'll just run a little straighter on him.
Clean. Not a whole lot less. Forward.
Banged it right on the nose, sat right there. Final stone, Brad Gushue. He's coming through 2. Now it's Gallant and Walker coming through 2. Get it by the guard. They did. Can he get the flip? Can he get the flip? Can he get the flip? Oh, we'll tuck a piece.
Great weight, allowed them to get that roll.
If he's drawing, it's good. What?
Yeah. A little. That's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's a really good shot.
And that's, he said, if he's drawing, it's very good, and that's exactly what is left for Brad Jacobs.
Brad Jacobs come down here with the same shot Gushue did, a little lighter hit, come through the port, hit it and stay, but any error at all and the game's probably over. So this way you're probably, the worst you're going to do is give up a single and you're still in there 2 down.
It's a draw against 2 for sure. Center line top, button 1 sitting at the back edge of the 8, close for 3rd shot.
Little bit of room.
He made that draw, of course,
Lot of room.
Line yet.
in the first.
Can't go for line
Lines
yet.
of room. No line.
Line's fine.
Line's good.
Line's good. Hard. Come on.
So the
Line's good.
Harndens
Hard. Yep.
pick him up, the Brush
Yep.
brothers.
Yep.
Need to bite the button. Need to take it in, fellas. Need to get it all there and then sit down. Oh, and they overbrushed it. And they'll kick it away.
Did you think it was on the top? Well, man, we got by this.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I didn't hear.
Okay. And now those late licks. And a little too much. Steal 1, Newfoundland, Labrador.
You can hit half, but I'm not sure half does it. You don't have half?
Not quite.
Can you get there?
Might be there.
Boy, we'd have to squeak, squeak, and stop.
Not physically possible to get the draw up.
This is the only shot I know is there for sure. I have to hit it a little onto this.
And
this
that's
might
it.
spin up. Oh, we got.
What's the degree of difficulty here, Dave?
Well, this is very difficult. It's one thing to throw a run back, but another thing to hit it with extreme accuracy on the back rock.
So here we go. This is it. Final stone in 10. Brad Gushue, this is all he's got. Run back, try, bang the yellow, come back, red onto yellow, spin it back! You kidding me?
What a shot!
The impossible becomes reality here in Calgary. That was epic.
And with that shot, with that win, Alberta had fallen to 4 losses. They would go to 5, and then Kevin Cooey needing some help. That help didn't come with Saskatchewan's win today over British Columbia, eliminating all the 5-loss teams and taking any chance of a tiebreaker out of this scenario here in Calgary. So the 4 teams through, of course, Newfoundland, Labrador, Northern Ontario. Here in this 1-2, it'll be Saskatchewan and Team Canada. Pat Simmons now skipping Team Canada, first time ever at a Brier. We'll have that for you tomorrow afternoon, a 3-4 at 3 p.m. Eastern Times. We welcome you back. A little off, fair to say. Northern Ontario just a little off. Miscommunication on the brush. They give up the steal of 1. It is 3-1. Newfoundland Labrador leading as we go to 5. And once again, it's the team from the Sioux that has the last rock. They have the hammer playing the Yellowstone.
You got to give some incredible credit to Mark Nichols. His placement, that's basically what got them the steal point, was where he put his come around on top 4-foot.
Play this thin. Or do you just want to?
Just overbrushed that
Whatever you like.
fraction, but you can't blame the brushers. You had to get by, and then
You
they
have
actually
any of
needed
that?
a rub to make it.
Half inch.
Those are always tough ones to call when you know it needs that little rub and how much.
Brad Gushue just made a nice call, too, with Jeff Walkers. He was trying to throw a center guard. It was way wide. They played the tick on this one and redirected it in for a perfect center guard.
Yep. Whoa, whoa.
Brett Galland.
Close. Yep. Hard, hard, hard. Go, 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 go. Good shot.
Great shot.
I got it.
Off the center. Spins in.
Yeah. Nice shot.
It's good, yeah.
Close for shot. Stone around
Straight
the
guard.
edge of the 8-foot.
Throw one more guard here.
A little bit early. A little bit early. Whoa.
Tight.
Whoa, line. Whoa.
Tight.
Whoa. No,
Got a problem here. They
overtime.
need to sweep it to keep it straight, but it's already heavy.
Those extra legs, it over curls.
Sit. Sit.
Well, if you want to see that shot of Brad Gushue again, you can go to tsn.ca/curling/video. You have extended highlights. All the video is on demand. You'll see the features, the stories from a great week so far here at the Tim Hortons Brier in Calgary.
Just a sliver sticking out on the out-turn side.
Wait.
Coming through, is he?
Yep.
Yeah, going to try to tap it out.
Okay. Here comes that guard. Now there's a stone top of the 12. They got to get by as well. Get by. Hope. And now underneath. You bet.
Just perfect weight to make that shot. You don't want to err wide on that one. You could also even tick in off that guard.
Good one.
Good shooting, kid.
Half a rock.
Start throwing hits. You got to be careful when you're down because you cannot roll out here. That corner guard will be long gone.
Gotta go! Gotta go!
E.J. Harnden. And right in the middle, and then it'll just skirt through to sit for shot stone top edge of the 4.
Nice play.
At this moment, all 4 members of Newfoundland Labrador are in the 90s. And Brad Jacobs, Ryan Fry, both of them are at 69%.
Well, it's the old story. Apply pressure, you can beat anybody.
I was thinking the same thing.
What about peeling theirs?
This? They go there. We cap it off with a draw. And we got to try that anyway. Don't we? Right?
Well,
what?
Up to you.
Whatever you like, Brad. I don't mind this.
You can't leave 2 in.
Okay.
Mark was worried about the jam on that back red, but he can't see enough of it. So this is the call, in my opinion, 2 up.
Real thick half, 2/3.
Yellow, yellow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hard. Close.
Close. Oh.
There goes.
Yep.
Bam. And
Try.
Oh, this is so close.
Yeah.
That would have been
we had it.
Hard to do that.
That would have been a good shot.
And just gets enough to move it to the back edge of the 8 foot. You got it? Not quite. Yes.
That's what I said earlier. He has a lot of fun out there. It's not the end of his life one way or the other. He's out there competing as hard as he can, but it's a sport to him.
I said to Cheryl, there's a difference in just the facial features, the expressions of these 2 teams tonight.
It is.
You know, you get a team like Gushue. Yeah, it's 1-2, but he's feeding off the crowd. He's enjoying himself, and you sense all that pressure that's right now on this Brad Jacobs team.
Good sweep.
And it's whatever you're used to as a team and what gets the best out of the players. The only thing I've ever wondered about with Brad Jacobs is in a really long event.
Big roll.
You know, does that intensity start to wear you down? It's a long event. You might be able to be that intense for a 3 or 4 day event, but this is long.
Well, he proved it in 2 years ago in winning the Brier, and he did it at the Olympics. It's what makes him, what makes this team.
Yes! Whoa! Whoa!
It's their style.
That's it, exactly. And now try to roll it over. Can they cover it? No. They'll sit there, though, for a 3rd shot. That Yellowstone back edge of the 8 foot, still second shot.
Just didn't want it to do what mine did.
Yeah. Looks like it, doesn't it? It's gotta be. Okay.
Tapping the chest. Brad Jacobs saying it's ours.
Hey boys, make this good for me.
Pretty good weight, I think. Yep. Room.
Just line.
Room.
Room.
Yep.
Just line. Room.
Room.
Back 4.
Okay,
Tons of room. Back 8.
Back 4.
Back 4. Coming down.
Yep.
Back 4. Room. Tons of room.
No.
Oh, never. No.
Good judgment there.
To the back 4 to sit shot rock.
Shot.
Boy, Schmeeds.
Makes this.
Yeah.
Let's do this now.
Heel or?
Yep. It'll curl an inch.
Yeah.
We'd almost have to freeze it square or we'd be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
If he ever made the run back on us. So let's make the run back first.
Yeah, I like
stick it.
Straight back. If you'd love to stick it, you got to make it. That's the first thing. But if you could stick it, or even right where Mark's broom is, the yellow, you hit it on the center line side, you could kick over really close to that outside Northern Ontario rock.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yep. Hard.
skip stones. Gushue, run it back. And that little extra spin. And so shot stone. Northern Ontario, yellow back edge 8.
They were robbed on that one again, the speed of these stones.
There's just so much action when they hit.
Ticks off his own, but it spins, and because it spins, it just keeps gliding.
And it hits ours thicker too, right? Like.
Oh, I know, but we could have hit that much thicker. Trying to stick it would have been ideal.
Yeah, let's make it T-line.
Yeah. Speed's the same?
Yeah, speed's good here. Same as the other side.
Okay.
Gonna try it again here, and it's gonna leave Brad that same shot.
This would be pretty tight ice for the straight draw, but I think he's trying to get back 8 foot, back 4 foot.
Brad Jacobs and his first.
Wait, Dan. Whoa.
Trying to set himself up for a deuce.
Running a bit.
Back 4. Line's good. T. Back 4.
Running a bit.
Back 4.
Heavy still.
Stay with it, though. Running.
Back 4. Back 4. Back 4.
Again, here the Harndon's taken right out of this. Nichols ready.
Shot, Brad. Shot.
And to the back 4 as it grinds in.
Sorry, Brad.
Free throw. Well, he's got it.
A little heavy.
What?
Taking a chance going behind the T line here.
I don't think he would have been running if we're top button.
I haven't thrown a draw yet. Is it the same as practice?
Yeah.
Breeze one in here, good. You could steal another point.
Same as draw the button. It's like that 14-5.
Is that enough ice here? Don't mind a hair more, Mark.
Yep. That's good there.
And he's absolutely right. This is draw number 1.
You look for like a 95, Brett?
In a curling club, you'd be worried, but here they've thrown so many in practice, and they've seen so many, and it's the speed's good here. It's all about the brushing.
Looks good.
Whoa, lots of line.
Back 4.
Whoa, then.
Back 8.
Trying to
No.
draw it down to that shot stone, sitting back 4.
Needs to curl a ton.
Has to curl a ton.
Wind's really
heavy,
good.
little heavy. No,
No,
you
not heavy.
can't. You can't.
We're not
You
heavy.
can't, Jeff.
Needs to move.
No.
And Hook in a hurry. Needs to go.
Yep.
Oh boy, they had to wait. They had to wait.
Jesus. She should have just been going.
Now the question is, can you throw the weight to get just inside?
It's close. It's really close.
What is it, edge to edge from our view back here?
Yeah,
Team decision.
maybe an inch
You know what I mean?
underneath.
Like we're laying one.
Whatever you guys like, man. Whatever you're comfortable with, bro.
Yeah, I'm good either way.
Getting two's
Yeah.
huge here.
No, you can't throw that much.
Looks too tough.
We're playing it to.
It's gotta be like back
If,
one,
if
right?
we're if we're missing it, pro side is wick the top. Like we cannot give up one here, or we just draw for our 2.
Whatever you're comfortable throwing, I'm fine with whatever.
Why don't you go take a look from the hack?
No, I can see it from here.
What do you got?
Well, there's this much space.
I mean, if I was to play it, it'd be like just back 12.
Back 12.
8
Yeah.
and use us. We'll pound it.
I don't mind drawing for 2 either, Cups.
I think we got to go for the opportunity.
Maker.
They're leaving the decision to the skipper.
Back 12.
Back 12?
Do you like that ice, Brad?
I wonder what he would be playing.
Like this?
If he
He
likes
likes it, I
this
like it.
decision.
We're ready to pound.
It's a little bit scoreboard driven here, I think. You know, if you draw for 2, which would be great, that's what they're hoping for. You're tied. You still don't have control of this game, and the way Gushue's playing, basically what he said is the truth. This is our opportunity, but it's a tough
I
one.
think it's going to curl here no matter what.
I like that they left it to Brad Jacobs. He has to know that he knows the ice, the weight, and sees the shot. Obviously, he feels that.
I also heard him say you can't miss wide. You miss narrow, at least you get 1.
Front end says, look it, give it to us.
Back
We'll
line.
pound it there. Final stone, sitting one.
Back line.
Now, can you get across the nose and just tap it back? It's just sitting out there, though. It's just sitting there. It's just sitting there.
Get over there.
Sitting there. And back and by. It came up at the last moment. Not a lick.
Get over. Get over there.
Get over.
Go.
And by.
Get over there. Go.
He wanted to play it. It was their opportunity. And they made the most of it. Halfway through, 1-2. Northern Ontario leads it.
The 2015 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Ford of Canada, proud partner with Curling Canada for more than 20 years.
Well, so far in a game where Northern Ontario really hasn't played that well, a little off. This was the shot that Skip Brad Jacobs said, I want to play. It's our opportunity. And it came up just enough to push the Newfoundland Labrador stone through. And high fives for a 3. Northern Ontario cracks the 3 to take a 4-3 lead, and Brad Jacobs is with Cathy.
Brad, in a game that has been a struggle so far, you made the decision to play that shot. Why?
I thought it was a good opportunity, and when I looked at it from where we were standing back, it just, something said to me, you got to go for it, and just tried to throw. I tried to throw it to use the sweepers, but we didn't. Still made it though, so it felt great.
What's been the story of this game for your team? Feeling a little bit off?
Yeah, I don't really know why. We were all ready. We've all done the right things coming to the rink to be prepared for this game, but for some reason we were that little bit off and really not making Gushu's team throw any hard shots, but hopefully we can change that around. Thinking back to your career with this team, have you had those big shots that have turned games around for you? Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have. So fingers crossed that was one of them. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Pat.
Well, they often say it's about the right shot at the right time. So when you look at these numbers, yeah, Northern Ontario's a little low. And yes, Ryan Fry, 75, Brad Jacobs, 75, but he just made a big shot to score 3, and they have the lead. The numbers after 5 are brought to you by Tim Hortons, official coffee of Curling Canada.
The 2015 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by World Financial Group, helping Canadians have better financial futures. By Home Hardware, homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice. And by M&M Meat Shops, frozen food at its best.
Our biggest crowd of the week here at the Saddle Dome as the Tim Hortons Brier takes over the home of the Calgary Flames. They won again tonight. 7-game road trip. They won 5-2 in Detroit. That's 3 in a row for the Flames, who continue to make a push for the playoffs, holding on to that final playoff spot. They have one more on the road against the Senators in Ottawa. That's on Sunday before coming home for their first home game next Wednesday against the Anaheim Ducks. And of course, Sports Center will have all the highlights for you as we welcome you back to this start of championship weekend and this 1-2 page playoff. Great shot to score 3 for Brad Jacobs, Northern Ontario. So here in 6, Newfoundland Labrador will have last draw. Trailing by 1, they have the Hammer playing the Redstones.
A little tighter.
Well, Brad Gushue got it. Just looked like he popped that out turn just out a hair, and they waited and waited and waited. And once they got the line, they'd waited too long. And probably in hindsight, brush it a hair sooner, knowing it was going to finish. That curls an inch more. That shot's not there, but what a beauty by Jacobs.
I'm not sure we thought it was there anyway. That was just finished up perfectly for him. That's a shot that you just, as a skip, you see it, and you just know, you know where to put the broom, you know the weight for it, and you just throw it.
I'm not sure you try it in a depending on who you play. Like, you're looking the way Gushu's team's been playing, it's like this might be our. You heard him say this could be our chance. This is our chance. So you might take a little more risk against a team that's curling 90%.
Yeah, and that's what he kind of said. It takes the wind out of their sails.
Lock it on then. Line's good. All you. Line's good. No bounce on this line. Line's good. Yep.
And right down on top from Jeff Walker. I'm sure you'll be able to find Montreal sweaters, Flame sweaters. The TSN shop is your one-stop destination for officially licensed professional sports gear and curling merchandise. And you can pick up one of those sweatshirts. Visit tsnshop.ca to start shopping today.
This line, never watch it. Yep, yep. If it's heavy, hard. We're not fine. Hard. Gotta go. Bounce it. Bounce it really hard.
Okay.
Northern Ontario's up here, but it doesn't feel like it. You know, that one big shot, the front end for Northern Ontario has been out curled nearly every end. They're going to have to pick it up if they can continue to keep ahead in this game.
Yeah, you just never know, though, about that one shot by Jacobs. I mean, he said to Kathy as much. I hope this turns it around for us.
Line's a little tight. Line's good too.
But I agree that the pressure has all been put on by Newfoundland Labrador.
They have. They've just been putting rocks in perfect positions to put the pressure on. You'll watch Brad Gushue this and look to set up for his deuce, but he'll make sure at least he gets the option to score, so he won't close up the forefoot for too long. You might see him open it up.
What a beauty that is. You can't get either one of those out.
They've just been setting the angles up so well.
Okay. The only choice is to peel your own and try to kick that red one across. You might get the one, actually. Needs to be up.
That was the sign for up. You see that? You see the roof?
Whoa!
Up there, that kind of weight.
Whoa!
E.J. Harnden.
Whoa!
Bang. We'll sit underneath, shot stone.
Well, as good as I could do.
Rock positioning is so key. As they missed that first one heavy, Gushue's in great shape here.
What did he say?
Just freeze, maybe bump, it's okay.
Okay.
A little fresh out here.
I don't think it's
Same
too
speed.
Bad. A little bit.
I think so.
Just I think if you have the brooms off, it'll come down a bit, guys.
Yeah, okay.
I think if you stay on it, it's probably similar.
Okay.
4 more feet?
A couple feet anyway.
Talking about the fact that they may not have been out there, not many rocks played, and it's still a little bit fresh.
There right now.
Back 8?
I don't think so.
It's close.
It's farther out. Line's good.
Whoa.
It's pretty close.
Weight's good.
Hard for line.
We're there.
Big close.
We're there.
I don't think we're heavy, Mark.
Yeah, we're there.
Yes.
Right bumping.
Hard.
Bumping.
Hard. Not bumping far.
Whoa.
Attaboy. Good shot. Good call, Mark.
I don't know.
Good sweep, buddy.
Did you make that run double?
I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's there.
Nice angles.
Even if you just pick it off, right? Or you try to freeze one inside, the one you just threw.
I don't like that.
Well, then play the run. We can't just sit here. We got to make a call.
You've got to move the one in the middle. Come around, tap it out. The red in the middle. The angles are so bad.
With the outturn.
You have no easy shot.
Oh, we have to get rid of. We gotta get rid of the front. So let's try and.
That's the only one I see.
Try and kill that.
That's the only one I see.
Yeah.
The only one he sees is the open one. That's the one at the top edge of the forefoot because it has no backing. Is that what he's saying?
The middle of the reds, and but they're going to do it with a run back, and of course that's dangerous. This curls. I guess he's going. What's he going? Out turn? Yeah, out turn. If this under curls, he takes out his own at the top of the 4.
Yep.
Ryan Fry.
Yep. 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 Hard. Hard. Hard.
Trying to hold the line. Now the Harndens angle this back, and boy, he'll just pick it right out of the middle.
Best you can do, I think.
Beautiful, beautiful shot.
Good.
Couldn't do much more than that.
Strider.
I don't mind that. I was thinking
It's
that.
better.
I think if I'm Brad Gushue here, I'd go away from these. I'd go around that corner guard.
Yeah, yours slid well.
Yeah, good.
Trying to set up a 2 here, and you're bunching a lot of reds together.
And where that center line red is queued up, if they ever play it with big weight, you might be able to
Similar weight, maybe
send it into these ones that Mark Nichols is freezing to.
Yep. Yours slid good, Brett. Hard for line.
Yep, line.
Top 8.
Hard for line. Just top 8. Whoa,
Mark
whoa,
Nichols.
whoa. Line's real bad.
Top
Let
12.
it curl. Let it curl.
Top 12. Full 12.
Make sure it's in. Yep. Yep. Yep.
We're in.
Now some late
Hard
licks.
fully in. Whoa, whoa,
Yep.
whoa, 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 now. Whoa, now. Whoa, now.
And in they are.
Just light?
Shoot. Yeah. I don't know, like.
Kind of made a move.
I thought it was a little lighter than his.
Yeah.
But it seemed like it was curling a lot, too.
Okay.
Bunching a bunch of reds together against this team is not a good idea.
Yeah, let's make her.
You have a good view of this.
Right on the nose.
Yeah.
I guess I can go a hair to your side.
Yeah,
and
yeah, let's make her.
Bit of danger here. If you ever high side it. With that ice, I don't see that happening.
Steve Gould, who was here as the 5th for Manitoba, said this is what they do so well. You think you have something going, and then they'll throw up something from Fry or something from Jacobs, and you just watch rocks disappear.
Again. Great shot.
Look at the yellow one, too. Look where it rolled. Now they can release that red with a little short 1-foot run back.
They don't just get the shot, they get something else out of the shot when they throw.
I agree.
They're trying really hard for a 3 there, and they could have maybe split the rings. Still got some chances, though, and they still have the corner guards.
Good wing. Whoa! 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 Right off.
It's good.
No, line's not good. Now we're rolling out. May not get this yellow out either.
Straight there.
They just come over enough. It comes up enough. Push it out, but they can't hold the shooter.
Guard it.
What are they getting caught on, Russ?
Make the double
We've
and
seen
roll.
both
Not
teams
the double.
make that mistake.
I think Mark threw that a hair harder than what we can hear them talk about. I think it was just a hair harder than what Brad wanted.
Okay, Mark.
Sorry, Brad.
And I think that if any of the misses through this game, that's been what we've heard is, sorry, that was just a little up, so it's a little overthrows.
It's tougher than it looks. You know, you wanted to roll there somewhere, or you're going to give Jacobs another easy doubles, and you just watch 2 doubles. So, but the ice gets straighter as the game goes along. You're going to hit this, eh?
Yeah, I thought they might throw guard on it.
Talked about it. You want to keep 1 yellow in front of that T line because Gushue might go around the corner if you don't.
Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Yep.
Brad
Yep.
Jacobs,
Yep. Whoa. Hard.
first
Whoa.
skip stone here
Yeah.
in 6.
Yeah. Whoa. Roll it.
Bang.
Whoa. Whoa. Sit. 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 Sit.
Look at this. Look at this. And it will sit now. Northern Ontario.
Shoot. Good throw.
They were trying to block this draw, and it just overrolled
Not
a little bit on them.
Slide. Tough to judge. Tough to read that one.
Why would it roll? Why would it overroll with that weight? 1,000 miles an hour.
Well, put your bets down then, I guess, eh?
We got that anyway.
Putting your money down, you're saying Northern Ontario with that record.
If he's not.
They're up 4-3.
My corner. did
Incredible
not move
record.
much. What's that? That's where my corner is. Yeah, I know. What a last mark. I like it. Let's wait, Brett.
Back 4.
Clean.
Back 4.
Oh, wait, don't wait. Nice, good.
Back 8.
All of back 4. That much, eh? Whoa, whoa. No. Really got to come down.
It's touch and go.
You got, Brad. Go, go. Go, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hand to the back. 12. Okay. One sheet in play. It's different here tonight. Bigger crowd.
Yeah, just pass it.
I'm just wondering if, in fact, that may be something to do with a little of the overthrows.
I don't think I've ever seen a playoff game that it wasn't quicker. It just seems to be the way it is, where in this case, Jamie Barraza, an ice-making team, as you said earlier, Cheryl, they can fine-tune it. The bigger crowd gives you more air temperature. That makes the ice a little greasier. And we are in the good old fifth end break, right, where the ice cools down and it gets a hair straighter, which makes it faster again. And but Brad Gushue and Brad Jacobs know that, so there's really no excuse for that shot.
Kathy, you've been talking with Jamie Barraza.
I have. You know, tonight they definitely dropped the temperature. It started a little bit cooler in here. What they realized is that even though he's done this building and done a Brier before, the upper level of the air conditioning units that they used to be able to bring in and to use now directly go onto the ice. And so they only have one system, and they've been running it full out. So what you used to be able to do and really keep the temperature cooler when the crowds build up, you no longer can. Again, it's things that they learn. But the crowds are bigger, and the air down where I am is moving a lot more than it's been.
And that is the air duct, that red tubing that you see there that makes its way right around the roof of the Saddle Dome. And first couple of days here, it was
3 feet less, eh?
blowing on our booth here, and it was extremely cold. And it's changed. We've been able to get a roof and have our little bit of shelter. But those people who are up here in this second tier, this second level, are all wearing jackets.
That's good.
Well, they're right. This is the biggest crowd I think we've seen. Is tonight changes everything out there for the ice.
It's not curling yet.
It's T right now.
T. Sweep for T.
All there.
No backing. Sweep for
Draw
T.
against 2.
Fine, Brett. That's good.
Ryan Fry acknowledges a good draw by Brad Gushue. The single ties it through 6.
Take that.
Pat Simmons, bang, got it, and sticks around. And Team Canada continues to roll.
Final Stone trying to make the double. Get it by the gut. Oh my goodness. And it will roll enough. Saskatchewan picks up the win. Run it back. Got it. You bet he does. Saskatchewan will move on to the Final Four. Saskatchewan, Team Canada. That's the 3-4 page playoff game. Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Team Canada back on Tuesday made the switch. John Morris dropping down to throw third. Stones, Pat Sims to skip and throw fourth. And it's been a dramatic turnaround. Then Saskatchewan earlier today, winning over BC to claim the 3rd spot and avoid any potential tiebreaker with a loss, a 5th loss. So far, we haven't had to use that measuring stick. In a 4-4 ties, we go to 7. Welcome back, everybody, on the start of this championship weekend here at the Tim Hortons Brier. Northern Ontario, Brad Jacobs out of the Sioux Curlers Association and Sault Ste. Marie will have the last draw. They have the Hammer playing the Yellowstones.
Well, if you're looking at scoreboard management this end and you're Gushue, you're looking to do everything you can to force Northern Ontario this end. Get Hammer back in 8.
Vic said it best before this competition started in their pre-event meeting. They just find a way to limit the opponent from scoring points. Gushue was trying to hook him for 3 there, and it ends up getting forced to a single.
Yep, bounce it off. It's got nothing.
Two
bounce it
brilliant
off,
shots
bounce it
by
off.
Fry and a
Hard
good one by
bounce.
Jacobs.
Okay. Okay. Not bad. Nope.
It's funny, we talked about Northern Ontario only giving up now 6 2-enders, 3 of them to Gushue. You flip the page, Gushue's given up 5 3-enders, which is a lot. Brad Jacobs has got 2 of them on him.
It's definitely less than him.
That just comes from aggressive play when you don't have hammer,
Top 12.
leaving the opponent's
Whoa,
rocks
needs a
around.
curl. We got no line at all, guys.
We gotta go
top,
little.
Top 12 at the most. Here it comes, close.
Stay with it,
Gotta
Jeff.
go.
Line
Go.
good.
Go hard. 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 Whoa, 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 whoa. Leave it short, leave it short. Leave it
Out of the
short.
4 playoff teams, Gushue's number 2 in force efficiency, so he's 42% force efficiency, so he's pretty good when he wants to force.
All right.
Shoot.
So like thick
Wanted
half,
that one
three-quarter.
in, though, because he could shut it
Yeah,
doubling
that's
off
right.
the front here.
Yep. 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 Right up, right up, right up, right up.
Good shot.
Very nice.
Sweet, boys.
Boy. Yep.
This. Oh, freeze it again.
Freeze again.
Freeze the crotch.
This gets a little scary for Brad because you've got no guards. Nothing to come around.
I don't
no
think
center
freezing
guards.
does anything. You freeze. If he does that and hits in lines 3, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
I don't think he can get under there.
No, if he hits this.
What? Unless we try to freeze more there. Yeah, I'm saying you freeze there.
I'm just saying freeze here.
Yeah, he does this. Then he does blast these out.
Okay, what about this?
We got Fry and Jacob shooting now, or coming up.
Well, you can throw
We
a guard.
got to avoid 4 doubles to get a
Throw a guard then?
guard scary. I don't mind a guard at this point.
What about running
You
the
might
red one
lob one
in
in
and
there.
sit 2? You could make that
lob one in
yellow-red
there.
combo and sit 2 red.
Yeah, you very well might.
I like that.
Low risk, anyways.
I don't
Lost
mind.
one in, we could.
Guard's a bit scary.
Then we're committed to really pushing for that force.
Yeah.
Like a blank here is not the end of the game.
No.
It's not ideal, I know, but
Like, he just doubles.
probably, yeah. If you roll anywhere this way.
And if you roll there, it's the double back
Yeah,
that
you
way.
can't roll that way. Let's lob one. Is he your shot?
Here, Brett's got one
Let's throw
more.
one guard.
What I took away from that, Gushue saying, we've got Jacobs and Fry coming up. Yeah,
That means a lot of rocks moving.
you bet.
Huh?
That's respect.
No, get
And
it really
it's
tight.
smart thinking too. You have to play that way. If it was somebody else, maybe you'd change your strategy.
I think this end, Brad Gushue, a force is okay, a blank is okay. He just doesn't want to give up a deuce. So that's the risk here, where you're throwing a guard and you're leaving Northern Ontario 2 stones in the rings.
Halfway tight.
Half! Just half!
Go then, sweep
Yep. Go then. Line's great.
I think you're tighter than half.
Halfway tight. Hard.
Where's it?
Halfway tight.
Brett Gallant.
Tight. Take a
Line's
look.
good.
Whoa.
Line's good.
Let me. No.
Yep. Finish it a bit hard. Right to center line, guys. Hard. Right to the center line. Go, 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 go. That's a good spot. Nice
And
shot.
just to the center line. E.J. Harnden.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep.
Sweet.
They haven't talked about hitting that 2/3 of that red one and making both yellows fly.
Same spot, Brett?
Yep. Right there. Hold on, Mark.
That's in there, yeah.
Northern Ontario with last rock here in center.
Up,
Russ,
no, hey, you got more line. Really tight.
Brad Gushue said, I don't mind
Really
a
tight.
blank
So we're
here,
tight
but
with
at
this
some
'cause
point in
it's not
time, they're
the
going to
girls.
be committed
Really tight.
to
Line's
playing.
good. Whoa.
When does that point come?
Right after this one, I think, and it's risky even throwing this one. If this,
Just leave it.
there's a good example. This comes a little deep. They hit it dead on, sit
Okay.
three, just stopped in time.
Good.
What's that?
It's not bad.
Why don't we just hit and roll on?
Well, it's easier to jam.
I feel like it's a
No,
sucker
hit
shot.
and roll on.
Yeah, it's easy to jam.
Well, there's a ton of space there.
Hack way, hit and roll
Hack,
in.
wait. Hack, wait. Hack. Control it. You peel it. You peel it.
I really like that call. 'Cause
Solid
that's what
hack.
Brad was
Solid
worried about
hack.
is three in there against them.
Make it right.
Yeah, Mark Nichols just slid a little bit tight, gave them this opportunity.
Big shot here. This could go in the scoreboard where this, if this rock stays in the paint.
Clean. Yep, 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 yep. Heavy. Whoa,
Ryan
yep.
Fry.
Whoa, yep, whoa, whoa. Yep, whoa, no, 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 no.
Massively
Yep,
curl.
yep.
And they'll get the guard, and will this spin and stay and spin and stay?
Oh, how nice is that?
Incredible. That was a really good shot.
Starts to get pretty scary for Gushue.
Right.
Board weight, Mark?
Board up.
Okay.
This is danger time here. So even if Mark rolls underneath, there might be a red double.
Heavy board.
Good weight.
Close. Yep.
Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yep.
I've seen these overswept a few times.
Yep. Yes.
Whoa, whoa. Whoa.
Right call. Ooh, underneath, 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 and right to it.
Nice soft touch by Mark Nichols. But I'm not positive it helps him here if Fry can make that double.
And it's pretty short. Double run.
2/3.
I think it's easier with the
And he can stay in the rings too by making it.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah.
You're thinking this way?
What's that?
Are you thinking that way?
I was, but this goes easy, eh?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, even if I make it and get rid of that, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going the other way. I thought they'd go in turn and hit it towards.
It's really hard to stick that other yellow. Like, just make the double and stick into it.
Yeah, I naturally
You know what I
looked at the
Whatever, man.
in turn. They like the out across the top of the yellow in the
Unfortunately,
forefoot.
that roll in kind
That
of
looks
hurts.
harder to me.
He just said as much, eh? That
Yeah,
roll
the
in
roll in. Yep.
hurt us.
Yep. Whoa.
Brad Gushue said, here they come.
Hard.
Ryan Fry. Bang, oh, and across the top. One more lick, and it'll stop, but they're sitting three.
Is there a triple there?
Yeah, it's close. It's really close, and,
Yeah.
and then they'd be sitting 2 and force, which is exactly what Gucci wanted. They had to get that thing out of there.
Oh, Ryan knew it too.
I really thought it was easy the other way, and then they could have rolled open, but now a chance at a triple.
It's there.
I thought that was going for sure.
Yeah, it's hard.
Did it lose?
It's just need a little thinner, man. Just a little thinner.
Did it lose anything off the 5?
Dead on, it's real close.
Yep, 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 yep.
Brad Gushue, skip stones. Walker. Gallant. Straight back, 1, 2, and 3.
Incredible.
And it leaves Newfoundland Labrador sitting 2.
Brilliant. It was lined up, but he still had to get it perfect. Every high side's at it's a drop to sit 3.
Whoa! Yep! Whoa! Whoa!
Jacobs.
Oh.
And slides underneath.
Come on, Fry.
Now it gives Gushue an opportunity to get some more separation here. Not leave an opportunity for a double blank.
Try. Same weight as my second one is good in this spot?
I think so, Brad, yeah. That was perfect weight.
Yeah,
Even them up as far away as
Not
possible.
gonna be any slower in here. I think the middle of the two of those is
Let's get away with
12 foot
2
on the
feet
other
more,
side, even.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of those two.
The seam's fine too.
Okay.
Where do you want it? Right in the tee?
Yeah, on the tee line. Even just behind the tee is fine in case he hits it, but we're probably need a little less. We're not going to get out of the 4 foot. Middle of the 4, Mark. Yeah. I like that better. Feel sticky in here? You guys or notice it? Pretty good weight. Back 4? Go a little. I don't think it's heavy, guys. Top 4. I don't think you're ever heavy. It's sweet for tee.
Landon Walker liked it out of his hand.
We're there.
Tee.
Looks here. We're back 4.
It's just
That's
tee,
good.
I
Back
think.
4 is fine.
Tee.
Sweet for tee. Sweet for tee.
Just behind tee. You don't have to go with that.
It's good. Just clean. Just clean.
Just clean. Just clean.
Good. Good. Good.
Good shot. Good shot, bud.
And the mirror image.
What are you doing? Control.
Sitting 2.
Throws, Brad.
It's Ryan Fry when he decided to go with the
Control, guys.
out-turn
Yeah.
double instead of the in-turn double. It didn't quite get it out, even though it was a beautiful shot. It set up that triple. How much you can do sometimes, you're trying to make a shot the best way you can.
Sorry, Russ. Belated congratulations to Brad and wife Shauna. And that little one is 1-month-old Camille. Congratulations to you both.
What a sweetheart.
Wait. Whoa. Play. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa, guys. Yep. Play. Yep. Good.
Shot, Brad. 1 yellow.
1 yellow it is. 1 for Northern Ontario to take the lead. That triple by Gushue got them out of big trouble. It never gets old, a little bit of YMCA between the ends. And then Brad Jacobs' triple was A-OK, Russ.
Oh yeah, just it lined up really nicely here, but Bradley's got to make this just perfect. The key thing here is he didn't overthrow it, so because these things roll out like crazy, but he saved that shooter. Northern Ontario couldn't respond with a double, of force.
The rise of the eyebrows. Northern Ontario gets their single. They're up by 1. Here in 8, Newfoundland Labrador will have last drop. They have the Hammer playing the Redstone.
Line's fine. So you can go.
Just the last 2 ends have just been unbelievable. Where
Hard, Brad.
Gushue looked like he was going to score a 3, and Ryan Fry took care of it,
Hard, Brad.
and looked like it was a really nice end, at least a 2 for Northern Ont, and they were forced with that wonderful triple, just heavyweight shot after heavyweight shot.
Oh, the crowds are loving it here. All the shots back and forth. Big crowd.
Line's good. Yep, yep.
Wait, whoa, if we
No.
can.
Yep.
Whoa, if we can.
Whoa, you can. Tons of line.
Wait's good.
Yep.
Wait's
Yep,
ready.
yep, yep.
Whoa.
Rub.
Whoa, guys. No
Right
line.
off, right off.
Big rotation. It shouldn't
Right off.
snap. It should get by the guard easy.
No.
Yep, 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 yep.
Yeah, still a stone's width at least to the top 4.
Top rushers really pay attention to that rotation, because with that big rotation, it'll glide that maybe 2 feet farther roughly, depending on the surface. Run that hair straighter.
I think it's there.
It's good.
Line's good. Line's fine.
We're there.
Yeah. Hold on. Line's okay.
Top 4.
Line's
Top 8.
Line's good. Line's good.
Top 8.
Line's good.
Gotta go, little.
Yep. Hard for line.
Can't hurt it. Hard.
Hard. You're by the guard, but over curling a bit. Hard. Hard walking on you.
We're there.
Walking on. Oh, yep, yep.
We are.
Beautiful weight.
What did you say, Russ? It doesn't matter whether it's
Like Kelly Corner?
Northern Ontario or Newfoundland Labrador. It's all about the angles. Right?
It is, no question. That's a great angle right on top. Gushu's looking for his deuce here, and it's hard at this point in time to do anything with that red one.
Rub. Rub.
Lots of line.
Rub.
I think a lot of these freezes are just made because of the confidence you have in your sweepers. Like you don't overthrow it. You let them carry it the last few feet and freeze it. You never want to roll off, or that happens from overthrowing.
Yep, yep, yep.
Whoa.
Whoa. Yep, 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 yep.
Yep. Whoa.
Brilliant.
Judge.
You know, we're really lucky that this is the 1-2 game, because it'd be a shame to have the loser out of this thing. The loser's still alive in the semifinal.
Now, there is some people who believe that the 1-2 game always tends to be a better game, because you do get that second chance. If you're playing in that 3-4 tomorrow, you might be a little tighter. You might not be willing to take the chance.
Yes, exactly. There's really not a lot of pressure other than you want to get to that final really bad.
Oh, look at that. Brett Gallant tracks it just the right way. Leaves Newfoundland Labrador shot stone top 4.
Made the change here. You could freeze again, shrink the scoring area. They're going to play the run back. It's risky. They make so many of them.
Easy.
Whoa.
Roll it.
Yep, yep, yep. Roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it.
The Brier Championship trophy, and it's interesting when you look at where the winners have come from. Yes, the 1-2 game is all important, but hey, 3-4 playoff winner, 5 of them. 13, who did it? Brad Jacobs.
Yeah, it's the you have to win 3 in a row from that spot, but when you've won 10 out of 11 in Brad Jacobs, he can do it.
Line's good.
Line's great.
Top 8.
Through.
Got to be higher
Whoa,
than this one.
Whoa,
Line's
if you
perfect.
can.
Top 8. Line's perfect.
real nice.
Okay, we're there. Don't want to.
Don't want to. Don't want to.
Oh, you don't need to. You don't
Go
need
off.
to. You don't need to.
It's buried anyway.
You're buried.
Oh, nice shot.
Oh, left it high.
Don't like the roll.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Well, he makes the roll. What do we do? Okay, control weight.
Just playing this on the nose.
Yeah, exactly.
Easy,
And Fry brings up a
whoa.
good point. What if Team Gushu makes the roll? That run back with it, it could change things here.
Clean. Clean.
Well, I don't think there are many people here tonight that maybe bought their tickets for the weekend, wouldn't have expected to see Team Alberta and Kevin Cooey in the team on the ice. But with a record of 6-5, they're watching Kevin Cooey. See Ben Hebert there, Brent Lang. His fiancée Jennifer Jones will be leaving shortly for Sapporo, Japan to represent Canada at the World Women's.
Yep. Yes. Hard. 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 Whoa.
got it.
Whoa.
No.
There you go.
That's what Ryan was worried about.
Yep.
Ryan Fry.
Whoa! Yes! Yep! Yep! Yep!
Got it. And it'll just spill a little bit. Well, we talked about the front end, the battle there, but this one in particular, just because Mark Nichols, Russ, didn't come in with the best of numbers, but he has the edge right now on Ryan Fry.
He didn't have to convince me that that could happen. Mark's a big game player, and Ryan's hasn't played bad either, but his shots have been tough.
Player numbers are brought to you by Ford, proud partners with Curling Canada for 21 years.
On great numbers on Mark's hits, because that had been a little bit of his struggles. His hit numbers had been down a bit. 83%, not now.
A little heavy. T.
Keep it out there.
Good.
Line only. Yep.
Weight's good.
Hard for line. Still there though. Back
Yep. Top 4.
Hard for line.
Line's good.
T. Whoa.
Whoa.
Keep
Whoa.
going. Run a T.
Whoa.
No, we're splitting T. No,
No.
too much. Too much. Shit. Too much.
We're gonna have that if it's.
Okay, that's fine. That's good.
Gets around, sit just top of the tee line.
Rock too far? Yeah. Okay. Now, we threw this shot.
Oh, that's a nice response, isn't it? Hello, Kevin.
Right, Shauna.
Brendan Botcher there. Lost the Alberta final this year. One of their top juniors, of course, Canadian champion, making the move to men's play.
Yeah, it's going to be a great team that's coming up through the, as you say, he won the junior. We watched them, and that's a nice team.
Kevin's son plays with them.
That's right, lead. A little deeper than Mark wanted that one. A chance to get out of jail here with a good freeze. And we might, with the way these guys brush it, might be slowing down a fraction coming through the slide path here.
Line's a little tight.
Top 4, top 8, top 4. Top 8, top 4.
Yeah.
Top 8, top 4.
Where is it? Whoa.
Room.
Right. Whoa.
Room. T.
Close.
Room.
Yeah.
T. Room still,
Whoa,
it ain't
whoa,
room. Easy, no
Room.
bounce.
No ball, baby
Ball
ball.
then.
No bounce. No bounce.
Brad Jacobs.
We're there.
And his first.
Set.
No bounce.
Kind of line.
Ray was perfect on it.
We're saying
I know I'm calling it the way I see it, guys. Like, nothing I can do. Like,
Good. Yeah, good shot.
It's
Hit and roll in.
it is
Like I got a
tense
tough
to
shot
say the
too.
least
I think
at
we gotta
times.
make it. I think we gotta make it.
Well, the Brushers
make
were
that.
upset that Ryan was calling for line, but it was actually heavy, and that's the Brushers'
throw
job.
the guard.
I was thinking, yeah, try to hit and roll on, play it real tight.
And I'm
yeah,
not
but the
sure
problem,
you
Jeff,
can
is this. Like,
unhook that
if he
thing.
draws here, we have no shot for 2.
Yeah.
If he draws here, we have no shot for 2. If he draws here,
This is the shot, isn't it? Reading the nose?
I think so. I really do.
I like that.
I don't think rolling on. I just, he could go right there and make it tough for us to score.
Yeah, true.
Right on the nose.
It's a tough shot, but that's what Brad does.
Should go
He's not
straight down
afraid
here,
to
Mark.
play them to set up the ultimate goal here. He hits his dead on, picks out the yellow. It's the only way he's going to get it out of there. And then he sits 2.
Right on the beat.
Both buried if it's perfect.
Yeah, he just has too many options on the draw, Jeff,
No,
to take anything away from us. Right on the nose. It's a little ass, Mark.
That little catcher on the side, is it any kind of a worry?
I don't think so for this shot.
Yeah. Let's go, Brett. Whoa!
Walker, Gallant, back off.
Yep.
Run it back. And they'll kill their own. Northern Ontario Stone rolls to the
Here quicker.
tee line just
on
in
a little quicker to get that.
edge of the button.
That was there too.
What do you like?
Just ran on him a little bit there. It's getting at that time of the day. It's getting a little straighter.
Well, we got to count that.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. Don't you think? Dead even.
Okay, let's go.
I guess we just threw this. Same weight.
Yeah.
Even them up, boys.
Okay. Same weight, Brad.
Obviously, the way Mr. Gushue can play, you can't be here, you can't be
do you
here,
think of
so
that
it's
height?
got to be perfect. The other option, you'd probably never do it, but you could go in that way, and then the angle is so thin for a double.
Where did we
You just
have?
don't think of it. You always think of separation.
Okay. Good.
I think once it starts to go more, once with the line, eh?
Line's good.
Line's good. Moving quite a bit. Moving quite a bit.
Line looks tight to me.
We haven't seen a lot
Line's
out this far.
Curling.
Not a rig.
Easy. Line's fine. Line's good. Line's good.
No, line's good.
Line's good. It's all you.
Line's good.
Line's good. It's all you.
Line's good.
Don't want you. Don't want you.
Sit. Sit, baby. Sit. Sit, baby.
Starting to slide on them, and it will start. Hanging on to the edge of the 8. Sitting 2.
Probably
you?
could.
Is it
I
there?
feel it's fine.
Do you try?
This should go straight down the road.
He will for sure.
Yeah.
You don't get many chances for 2s.
Wow.
Half rock.
They actually overbrushed that a little bit, Cheryl.
They did, and I think they thought the finish that it
Yeah.
might.
You have to take enough ice in those so that if you don't have to brush it from coast to coast. They had to brush it to keep it straight enough to catch the paint. It's a natural one too. I expect Brad to make this. I really do.
Half to a thick half. Okay.
What's that?
Half to a thick half.
Okay.
Trailing
Like that
by
ice?
1 as we
I
play
think it's
here
good.
in
I think
8.
it's straight. I like it. There we go.
Looking to make the double to score 2. To take the lead with 2 to play. Final stone.
Yep. Yep. Yes.
Picked up early. Gallant. Walker. Nichols calling line and calling up and coming across. Oh, and he won't be able to hold it.
Couldn't hear me. Oh, sorry.
Newfoundland, Labrador. As it slides underneath. And they couldn't hear him. They couldn't hear him. Couldn't hear his call. They couldn't hear Nichols' call. They get only 1. Well, it's time now for the M&M Meat Shops Final End Challenge. Right after the game, go to finalend.ca and enter that secret word for a chance to win an all-expense-paid trip for 2 to the 2016 Brier in Ottawa. The prize includes your tickets, the hotel airfare. First 100 entries will have a chance to win a $50 M&M gift card, and all participants will get an M&M discount. Finalend.ca after the game, after we give you the secret word. What a game. 2 best teams. 10-1 Northern Ontario, 9-2 Newfoundland Labrador, and a 5-5 tie. We go to 9, and it will be the team from Sault Ste. Marie. It does have the last draw. They have the Hammer playing the Yellowstones.
Gotta know Brad Gushue's really let one slip away on that, and it wasn't anything they couldn't hear. They were trying to call the sweepers off.
Yeah, I could use hand signals. Yeah, they just got caught. It looked like Brad threw it great, but his out-turn tracks, it doesn't bend much, and he just got caught on that by a little bit. Bit of a break for Northern Ontario, to be honest. They overswept that
No line. No line.
Yellow Rock to split the rings.
Straight off. I don't know. You're going for here.
Yeah, yeah. We are.
It gets so loud as you get into these, final games or single sheets, and the crowds get bigger in the building. Then you do have to really look up and look for hand signals.
Like this.
Double guards thrown up here by Brad Gushue. He's trying as hard as he can to force.
Mine's really good. Whoa, whoa. Easy, easy, easy. It's a curl. Over. Looks like plenty of weight, Brett.
It's cleaning.
Whoa. Whoa, right off now. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
You got to hand it to Brett Gallant and Jeff Walker in this game, Cheryl. I think, you know, like the other six guys have won a gold medal for our country. They were used to this pressure cooker environment, and the front end for Newfoundland's gone toe-to-toe with Northern Ontario.
Well, and we said that was going to be the key, really, to be, you know, a couple shots ahead before Ryan Fry goes to throw and have things set up, and they've done that all night.
Lots.
Close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Clean. Yes. Go.
Ryan Harnden.
Go. Yes. Yes.
Round one.
No.
Round two.
Yes. Get the angle.
Good.
Taps it back.
That's good.
Spins underneath.
That's what we want to do.
Freezes up off.
Overcurled it a hair. There's a little pocket to kind of slide into here for Gallant.
Top 8.
This is always a scary end when you're the one trying to force, because you're forcing, so you're leaving rocks in play, which can get risky giving up a big end.
Oh, easy, Mark. Whoa, where is it?
It's not heavy.
Top 8, top 4.
Looks real good.
Whoa, line's good.
Yes.
Real close.
Wait, don't wait.
We're real close.
Whoa.
Needs a curl. It's not curling. It looks heavy.
Ah.
Oh, right off. Can't bounce on this line. Okay, good shot.
Wow.
Couldn't have changed the ice. He was great.
A little overcurl by Ryan gave them that little bit of room.
Okay, give me the out.
And the thing is, they're jumping on any mistakes that they get. They get a little bit of a miss, and they're on it.
Tough double peel and roll, but if anybody can do it, it's this gentleman. Look at the speed on this thing.
E.J. Harnden. And we'll rip it by.
Doesn't have to be frozen. Top 8's okay.
Yeah, Rigby. Doesn't have to be frozen. Top 8's okay.
Line's key.
A
Left
little
that
less.
right there in case it was heavy. Left that there in case it was heavy.
Really good setup here, I think, for the force. That yellow one is kicked out of the way a little bit. There's still room to freeze a second one here.
Thought it was really similar. Line's good. Same weight.
A little heavy.
Clean it. Same weight. Weight's good.
A little bit
Line's
tighter
tight
line.
now. Just made a move hard for line. Whoa, line's
Top
okay.
8.
Whoa, line's
Top
good.
8 is what they're asking.
Whoa, just short of it, guys. Just short of it.
Whoa.
Right to it.
Yeah,
They're
right. No,
coming
no,
down
Mark,
now.
wait. It's good spot. Good away. Good shot.
Didn't have to be frozen.
Should be able to get
Right on the
rid of-
nose, you might get them.
Yeah.
Might be that red will spin off.
Yeah.
You
Guard just off
you
the
really
nose.
could have tapped that yellow hair and frozen it in there. There is room to get these out of there.
I want to spin it out, right?
Yeah. Go ahead, Heath. Can't really do that. Should be there. Looks there.
You guys thinking nose?
No, like into it and just.
Well, this is probably what's going to be left.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is it? He's guarding it.
Well, but then he's got to make a perfect guard. How many
true.
times in a row?
It's true.
What else you like?
So you're thinking into here?
Yeah. And everything goes, and he has one
Yeah,
left
you
in
might
the
get
ring.
it spinning a bit.
You get it spinning, yeah.
3/4-ish?
Just where I hit last time.
Yeah. You want the same turn?
Sure.
Danger with these is EJ knows that one red one, the closest to the button, probably won't go too far. So you want to throw it even harder to try to get it to spin farther. But the idea is to make this thing go away, this top one.
What? I like the in. I don't like the out.
Yeah.
Nope. Yep.
Easy Harden.
Whoa. Yeah.
Now,
Whoa.
late licks, run it back, and yes,
Go.
exactly,
Get out of there.
exactly.
Get out of there.
Will it
Get
hang
out.
and come back? It does. They knew exactly that would be the stone left, sitting open now in top 4.
brilliant. Just brilliant.
Whoa!
Good shot. Go. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there.
He willed that out of there.
That one had ears.
No. That ice looks good.
And to EJ's point, and full credit to him, yes, they're going to guard it. Yes, it's a dangerous rock, but can they put this guard on perfect 4 times in a row?
Hard. Hard for line. Halfway. Hard. Gotta get it tighter than that, guys. Halfway high. Over curling big. Whoa,
What do you want us to
whoa,
do?
Whoa, whoa. Yeah, go on. Make it or something. Okay. Just soft.
Well, coming up tomorrow, a brand new Major League Soccer season starts on TSN and kicks off all-Canadian matchup, the opener, the Whitecaps FC, Toronto FC. Live coverage underway at 6 Eastern. You'll see it on TSN's 1, 3, and 4.
Soft. Whoa.
Ryan Fry.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. No. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa.
Hit it by.
Roll it.
No. He's going for nose.
Wow.
Cute. That was close.
Was it ever?
Good hack.
Hair less weight would have been mutton. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Tough for Mark to get underneath this completely.
Yeah, it's edge to edge, and it's not real long.
Heavy hack.
Clean. Yep.
Move heavy.
Yep. Whoa. Oh, if it's heavy. Yeah, or heavy hack.
Close.
No.
Never.
Curl. That's pretty good weight. Okay, Mark. That's good weight.
That's what separates these guys. Cheryl, sorry, is Fry took it upon himself to get it as tight as he could, which was dangerous, but he kept it an inch underneath. That forced Mark to roll open, and now you've got a better chance here.
Hit and roll, don't we? This way?
Hit and roll my way, no? I like control, yeah.
I was thinking that's the spot that Brad Jacobs had ended up with getting that 3.
I
And it had finished up hard, but that's the difference later in the game where it's just a little bit straighter and they're just not finishing quite as hard.
The last thing you want to do now is roll underneath, because that will just be a guard for Gushue.
Come around it all.
Yep. Whoa. Yes. Roll it far.
Again, this time he will roll underneath and then roll out the other side.
It's better there than buried, Vic.
Oh, no, what happened to that? Good sweep.
Just got to try for the perfect roll.
Huh? I throw that all right?
Yeah. Just
a little soft and it took off.
a little soft and.
I don't think this is going to curl very much, eh? I don't think so. Seems once we put the brooms down, he'll straighten. So as soon as we put the brooms down, it seems to straighten up too. Just forward weight and hold it.
That's what I think happened with his double. Just put the brooms down for a second and
yeah.
Forward weight.
Yep.
Brad Gushue.
Whoa. No, you don't
First
need to
skip
sleep
stone here in 9.
Whoa, guys.
Northern Ontario with Lasrock.
No.
Centerline guard.
No. Yep. Whoa.
Roll it hard.
Now there's that little roll. Oh. And it'll just make a quarter turn.
it's looking at rolling under here, but it'll be high enough to come around.
Oh, yeah, it certainly will. It'll be all Gushue has if this is made.
Hack?
Yeah. Hit and roll my way?
Well, we were thinking about rolling in.
Why?
Brad, you want to roll away?
I like that.
Why wouldn't we just roll this away?
Well, if we roll away, he's going around.
Yeah, and then
He's
if he doesn't
gonna
make it
come here.
perfect, like absolutely perfect, we get 2.
I think he's coming here if we do that.
He just knows it.
Yeah.
Fry would know what Gushue's up to. They played together.
Could look at nosing it, and then if they play a come around, then you've got something to run.
Yeah, I like the nose myself, and then it's
We'll be able to duck
if you
We roll away, I think he's
bury an
coming
inch.
here.
Exactly.
5 years.
It's pretty
5
tough to
years
do
he
without
played
being able to shop the
Ryan Fry with Brad Gushue.
Yeah, but it's
If he makes it, it's
starting off in Manitoba, of course.
He's coming here.
That's tough to do too.
It's tougher for us to get two if he makes that fly than it is that guard with all that room.
If we make this, he's got to make it perfect. If he doesn't, even if he's full button, I think you can top it
If we play this,
what about even half?
He's going to hook one around. I don't like.
You think he's gonna? You think he can get that good?
He can.
Brad, absolutely.
He can.
This is pretty.
You think if he's there, we can make that for two?
Not there, no.
You play the run. What I'm saying is,
he's going to be both buttons for us to tap him out. I don't mind rolling here.
Why would we play the run?
I don't mind this. Make him make a shot.
Huh?
Let's make him make that draw.
Hold on.
I think we make him make the draw.
Make him make. So. Yeah, you want to make him make the draw?
I want him to make something this game.
Let's make it.
It's interesting how the two teams have respect for each other in different ways. It's that run back ability that Newfoundland Labrador has for Northern Ontario, but you did, they said, do you think he can make it? You betcha he can make it, referring to Gushue. So that draw ability of Brad Gushue has them just a little scared.
And that's a veteran call too, because you could easily say, "Oh, let's do that. Maybe he'll miss. Maybe he'll miss."
Yeah.
They're saying, "No, let's play the odds here. He's not going to miss."
Expect that they'll make everything.
Control.
No.
Close. Whoa.
Roll it away.
Yep.
Whoa, still.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
Trying to get across that nose.
Roll it deep.
No, they're going to roll it away.
Decision time for Brad. Will he play the come around?
It's hard not to get it out. I think you got to be there, Mark.
Yeah, we had to go just far enough to get shot, right?
You think the guard's too high?
I think if I get it perfectly buried somewhere between here and here, it's a tough shot, but it's a makeable shot.
Yeah.
I don't think, even if I get it there, I still think he could probably make it, although it's straightening out. Yeah. The problem is getting that perfect line. Like, we can't manipulate it as much with the sweeping, right, to finish it. And even if I make this,
it's the same thing.
Well, it's tough for a blank, but I think we have to play the draw.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's like, do you think we got a chance of stealing 10 if we miss the roll?
I think it's very limited.
Yeah.
I'd rather take my chance of getting 2 and then stealing rather than just play this. So,
you guys agree?
Yeah. I think coming back at all.
Yeah. I didn't feel like it in mine.
No.
Okay.
You guys thought mine was a little light, or like halfway.
Yeah.
Like, where were you giving Brett for his freeze?
Brett was about right there. He was crossing center line just a little.
But he was passing this, right?
He get by the guard.
Yeah, like that's where we kind of want to be.
Yeah, he would be like right there.
Okay.
So I think
they rolled a little farther than they really wanted to. I think they could have left it there. Then if Brad makes that hit and roll, it's way up here, and at least you score. And if you do, if you left it there and Brad Gushue comes down here, then you'd have a pretty easy raise. Now that it's over where it is, if Gushue can keep this high enough, there won't be an in-off off that yellow. It's all about just forcing. They'd love to steal one, but at this point, it's don't give them 2.
It's really all line.
I think it's perfect.
That looks like good ice to me.
Remember the 3-ender Brads didn't bend enough here. They're at least 14 inches less ice than they were on that shot. They've straightened it out here a little bit.
So final stone for Newfoundland Labrador. Brad Gushue.
Heavy, deep.
Right now, Northern Ontario sitting 1.
Line's good.
Top edge of the 8-foot.
Whoa. Line's pretty good, guys.
I'd love to be center line, buried.
Half in the 4.
All in the 8, maybe nibbling at the 4.
Half in the 4. Full 4. We're top button.
And they're coming all the way back. And they're going to sit top button.
Perfect line.
A little deeper than they wanted, so that gives a couple more inches of room for Brad Jacobs to get enough curl here, but this is not as easy as that 1 for 3.
2 rocks too deep.
2 rocks too deep. You back that up, as you say, you put it at the Just biting the top 4.
Back 12.
Maybe full in the 8 on that center line.
And it's really tough to throw any weight at it to remove it. It's got more time to finish once it gets past the guard.
First, second in, this is a pretty easy shot. Right now, it's tougher. Not much straighter.
As the crowd quiets.
Where is it? Back line. Yep. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, off.
The Brush brothers backing right off.
Off, Ryan.
Don't touch this.
Whoa. Curl, baby.
Now, watch this.
Go, go,
Where
go, go,
do they
go,
touch
go,
it
go,
enough?
go, 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 go.
And
Go.
sure
Go,
enough,
baby.
they do.
Come on, Brad.
Nice.
It came up.
Attaboy, Brad.
Attaboy, Brad. As he followed it down. Yes.
The 2015 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Tim Hortons, official coffee of Curling Canada.
Well, it's time now for the M&M Meat Shops Final End Challenge. Secret word is veggies. After the game, go to finalend.ca and enter that secret word veggies for a chance to win an all-expense-paid trip for 2 to the 2016 Brier in Ottawa. On this, the opening night of our championship weekend, Northern Ontario with a big 2-9 to take a 2-point lead. So Newfoundland and Labrador. Brad Gushue, the Valley Haley Country Club in St. John's, will have the last rock. He has the hammer, looking to score 2 to tie with the Red Stones.
Do you like the tick still?
No.
It's pretty high.
Yeah.
Top 4. Top 4. You like in?
Top 4. Even if I'm right on it.
Let's go, Ryan. Let's line it up
A
perfectly.
lot of arguments at the old curling club after a game's over. What to do when you're 2 up without hammer. Throwing a second one in could hurt you. But because that first was behind the tee line, it could help you.
Top 4. Easy.
You stagger these, they can go right around it. A la Randy Furby the one year.
Easy.
I think that's the difference in where you put this is where your first one is, and you're right, it's behind the tee line. So coming in, if it was a top 4, you might throw tight guard.
Oh, it's got to curl.
It's got to
really
curl.
got to
EJ.
curl.
Yep.
Oh. No.
Just leave it there. Leave it there. Shot, right? All right. Good.
Shot. It's good.
Well, they've always had close games. And, of course, in 13, that was Jacobs winning in that 3-4 game and then going on to the championship.
Maybe not that much.
As you can see,
Top of the cup is bad.
5 of 6 going to extra ends. So always a close battle between these two, Gushue
That's good. Nice shot, Jeff.
and Jacobs. Battle of the Brads.
This is a battle for Brad Gushue, trying to set these guards up so he doesn't leave a double and separate them enough.
Lead.
Shot, EJ.
It's tough when that first one was only 4 feet over the hog line to line them up.
This is where I think,
Corner, eh?
speak for a lot of club curlers. Where do you want these? You know, we see them sometimes staggered or in line with each other. You want these corners, but where do you want these corners? How deep do you want these corners?
You want them pretty well to the coffee cups, the Tim Horton cups, like what, as we would call a 2 halfway guard, I would say, maybe even a little deeper. But now they can't, Vic, at this point in time. If this one's deeper than the other one, it gives EJ an angle and maybe double them both off.
Yeah, they're a little bit high where they're having to throw them now.
Yep. Good
Play
shot.
around them, they're pretty easy to get anything out from behind.
Clean.
Yeah.
Gushu could go around that long one and make a better one. These are so long, Cheryl.
You might see him after this one.
Well, a little more on this one, guys, I thought. Maybe not. Line's a little better on this, a little bit wider.
A little mark, I think. Even them up.
Think you're there.
Wait,
Think you're there and then some. Whoa. Whoa.
Hey, good shot.
Okay.
Great sweep.
Yep. Wall. Clean. Yep. Clean. Clean.
Ryan Fry. All that experience, of course, with Stoughton and Gushu. Hard to believe this is his 7th Brier.
Coming back just a foot or two. Not much though.
Neil?
Huh?
We said
What's
before.
that?
Do you like that ice?
Ryan Fry, I mean, his game has grown tremendously.
Well, it has, and I think more than just his shot making is just who he is on the ice. And you know, he used to be pretty hyper player out there, and sometimes tough, I think, to play with. And now he's the calmest guy on the team. He really talks to the rest of the players on the team, keeps everybody even keeled.
No.
Back 12.
Whoa. Whoa.
Just back 8.
Oh, no.
Just back 8.
No. Real nice. Good.
Beauty.
Good shot.
Well done.
As we take a look at the game story, think about that, all the pressure that Newfoundland Labrador put on, that draw against 5 to score 1. And that 3 in the 5th. Remember Brent Jacobs was talking with Kathy, said hoped it would be the momentum change. And it really has been, as they've outscored Newfoundland Labrador 3-2 since the break. Lead 7-5. The game story brought to you by Travelers. It's better under the umbrella.
Like to get this back yellow.
Yep.
Very nice. That's what I said earlier about, do you put the second one in? Once those long guards were so long, they're really not that usable. The 2 yellows were hurting Jacobs, which was what they did to themselves by putting it in there. Now you have to see if you can get an error around this long one.
It will slide a little bit better to the wing here.
Once you're off center.
Yeah. If I take 6 feet off?
Like that? Fine with that, Mark? Yeah.
Just need to be buried.
Yeah.
High in the rings would be ideal here. It's not like you're going to be shot rock, but the higher it is, the less distance they have for Ryan Fry to come around and tap this thing out.
Yep. Curling early.
Line.
Just try and secure your first point somewhere.
Hard line.
Need to be buried.
Hard.
Gallant and Walker.
Hard. Get a by, guys.
Here comes that guard.
Hard.
Here it comes. Oh, they got it by. Take it in.
Whoa.
And it is going to pop out the other side. Just gets to the top edge of the 12.
Pretty nice.
It's really good. The piece that's open will probably redirect it on those yellows. I don't think Jacobs can afford to try to hit it.
No.
It looked like you tried to get him.
That was tight by this guard. I thought he was actually on the guard.
Brilliant shot.
Timeout been called by Northern Ontario.
That's not a bad idea.
I mean, he's welding, right?
Yeah.
He's welding, we rip. If he makes it perfect, we can't play it.
Yeah.
And then he
But if
gets
you're
a
over
deuce,
here,
right?
as long as you're out counting that one.
Like if we go here and he welds it dead perfect.
The only other shot is trying to rip that. And if you rip the guard, you rip the guard.
You're really coming back towards this one, though.
That's real thin.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
I like it over here.
So you go there.
Yeah.
And then he puts it here.
Then if he makes it dead perfect, he gets a deuce.
Yeah.
He's got it. Like, he can't. You don't think he'll play the double and roll over to here?
He might do that too.
Do you think if we go here, can he make that double and roll?
He might.
No, eh? He can't. Can't make that double and roll.
I think this is the top.
He can make the double and roll. I think this is the best option. This is probably the smartest, so we don't give up 3.
Give up 3.
I think the smartest is peeling the guard. Yeah?
I don't. I think that's giving him a deuce.
Then you're giving him the deuce.
He's just going to, if he makes the double.
Yeah.
I know, but it's.
I don't know if he'll play the double.
Now,
Do you think he'll just freeze?
He'll probably try to freeze on the inside.
Okay. He's got to make it.
Okay.
No, I'm saying if we peel the guard, he'll try to freeze on the inside.
I think he's playing the double.
Sorry.
Which is good, because then we just
then you
play,
play
we
a
have the
slap.
double back, Fry.
Okay, I'm fine. Whatever you think.
If we
Brad,
go
I'm
over
down.
there and he welds one perfect,
Then you play the same weld. You play
I
the
like
exact-
peeling.
You play the exact
I like
same
peeling.
freeze.
you like peeling?
I think so.
I do too, I think.
I like peeling, Fry.
Okay, 3-1. Let's go. Let's peel it up.
I like peeling.
Numbered.
Intern.
I think you got it.
Well, they talked it through.
Yours kind of came up pretty good there. I thought I might overcooked it. Your draw?
Which one?
So we go over to the side. Can we give up 3? A few welds.
So the skipper wins out. It's
You want the end?
Jacob's idea to get rid of the guard, Russ.
On that back one.
I like it too. It's the smart. The way you phrase it, it's the smartest call. You could win by drawing for 3,
It's very unlikely.
but you could lose by drawing
I
for
think
3.
I can spin out.
You give up a 3 here pretty simply.
And they don't mind a deuce, and this probably ensures it's just a deuce.
They might still have a double here if they have to.
Why?
I see anything.
I don't know if it was edge, but it looked like it was close to edge.
Yeah, you were bumping a rock that was there, right?
Yeah. The guys thought it was heavy and it came down.
Yeah. I
This
think
has to
that's
be
close.
really good again too. You know, if it bounces
be
off, for
right on the
instance,
nose of it?
Northern Ontario sits 3, then Gucci's got to make some
Maybe
type
even a
of triple
hair
and
low,
stay.
it's not awful.
You're leaving, Brad Gushue one of the toughest shots, which is the freeze.
You're
And a
right.
freeze with no guards.
You're
Is that too much ice?
The top one, right? Give him his deuce.
Yep.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
What do you think, Jeff? That looks good. I don't think you want to take more. No, I was thinking a little less.
I like it. I think it'll.
Okay. Same weight as last and
Exactly, yeah.
Looks tight compared to what we've watched earlier in the game, but Brad's got a very positive release on both turns. And he's not going to cross that center line to almost the hog line.
Put it on the tee line.
Back 8.
Line's good.
Clean. Back 8, back 4.
Line over.
Yep. It's pretty good.
Heavy, a little tight.
Little heavy. Whoa.
Line's good.
Whoa. Bumping. Clean.
Walker,
Back 8.
Gillette,
Close.
backing
Bumping.
off.
Back 8.
Little hot,
Nice.
little heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, some late strokes.
Hard. 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 Whoa.
And down to it.
You know what? I think they might give the double a try.
Pretty good. Worst part about it is now there's no possible way to.
Yeah.
On ours.
You would never play this if there was like a single yellow, but I don't see any way that it can jam. It can hit those yellows, but the red will go. So you might as well give it a go. It's a chance to win the game. This way, and down there.
Didn't take him very long to put the broom down for it.
Northern Ontario leading by 2. Double to run the team from St. John's out of stones. Pick up a pass to the final. Brad Jacobs.
Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah.
What does he got? Yeah, slate, licks. Got it. Yes, they do. And it just leaves Mark Nichols stunned at the back of the house. All he could do was just look forward.
Love you guys. Miss you.
Big goal, boys.
Wait a second. Wait.
Wow.
Yeah, baby.
That momentum changer. That 3 he scored in 5. And then this. The brush, the perfect line call, and around they go. On to the final. And with that, they're through to Sunday's final. Northern Ontario trying to win a second Brier Championship in 3 years, the 13 winners, Newfoundland Labrador, into the semifinal, now awaiting the winner of Saskatchewan Team Canada. 3-4 page tomorrow, Saturday, 3 Eastern.
The 2015 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by World Financial Group, helping Canadians have better financial futures. By Sponge Towels Paper Towels, nothing absorbs like it. And by Home Hardware, homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Pat Simmons, bang, got it, and sticks around. And Team Canada continues to roll.
Final Stone trying to make the double. Get it by the guard. Oh my goodness! And it will roll enough. Saskatchewan picks up the win. Run it back. Got it. You bet he does. Saskatchewan will move on to the Final Four. And so that is the 3-4 page playoff. The winner to go on to the semifinal and play Newfoundland Labrador. Steve Laycock, Saskatchewan. Pat Simmons now skipping Team Canada here in Calgary when we join you Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. What a great way to start this championship weekend. What a game. Northern Ontario is through to the final. So till we talk to you tomorrow, thank you for joining us. The Tim Hortons Brier is here on Canada's sports leader, TSN.